happy Tuesday. It is Out of the Rut Tuesday. My name's X.
Billy.
And today we have a very special guest with us today. We're very excited to chat with. His name is Mario. Mario, say what up.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Now, Mario, we met Mario, or I met Mario. We met Mario through a mutual friend of mine that I used to work with. But we're really excited to kind of deep dive into what brings you on today, because this is kind of like our special Halloween week episode. But first thing, as always, before we get into this thing, ruts. Any experience being in ruts? How you got out of them? Are you currently in one?
Oh, just, the regular life stuff and what have you,
Sure.
Work and balance and time.
You ever been have you ever had like a stint of time where like you're like, okay, what I'm doing right now really sucks and I need to get out of it?
That's probably, like job to job kind of situations, more or less. You know how that goes. So, what
kind of jobs have you held over the last handful of years?
Yeah, for sure. I was manager of Pete's Coffee throughout, a couple locations throughout Chicago. And
nice.
And that was good. Customer basis, love people, helping them and, just regular customers. But eventually it was just like, hey, I need something different.
A little bit more fulfilling.
Yeah. So I ended up applying to the company that services those machines and stuff. So,
cool. Yeah, like a coffee machine, like espresso machines type
technician and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's currently what I've been doing for like about 3 years now. So
it's
been cool. We're all over and just sort of jack of all trades with all that. So it's kind of interesting, where you don't take that home with you, it sort of stays where
you once you're home, you don't have to worry about it again. You're like, sweet, I don't have to live this, breathe this.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's not like a 9 to 5 more than it is a 9 to 9 sometimes. It's still all right.
Is it one of those things where like you work like based off of just as needed? So it's like some days you probably work a lot, whereas some days you might not work as much.
Yeah, so we get like dispatched kind of all over and stuff. Like in the summertime, I spend probably half that time either in like DC or in like San Francisco.
Nice. So you travel, you do a lot of travel.
Yeah, nice. It's kind of interesting because you never really. I never thought that something like that would take me all over, but wherever the company needs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
I do got one question. Now that you mentioned that, have you ever got a service where it was a simple like on off unplug?
Oh, that's fun, right? So honestly,
he's like all the time.
the very first job I had, I drove all the way to Peoria.
Yeah,
it's about like 2.5 hours from here, and I'm like, okay, like going over the ticket in my head on the way over there and stuff, and I'm like, all right, so it just says the machine's not working. And I pull up to this gas station. I'm like, okay, it says the machine's not on. So I'm like,
super important. Dude.
Step one, let's check the outlet. Like what's going on there, and go under the cabinet. I'm like, okay, this is unplugged. And then I go ahead and plug it back in, and it fires right up. And I'm like, all right, hard day's work.
Honestly, it's such a joke that those IT jokes of like, have you tried turning it off and on again? But it's like so interesting and so hilarious how often that actually is the solution.
Absolutely,
to most problems.
It's a real thing.
Dude, I'm that guy. I'm that guy too. That when something doesn't work, like I'm gonna try the one thing I know how to do, and then I'm instantly like, yo, I need an adult. I need help. I'm that guy who's just like, dude, just you push the damn button, dude. Just push the damn on button.
I think that's what got me in there was because again, like having that relationship with those technicians in Chicago. And our lead tech, really great guy. He was just like, like anytime you call for an issue, like it's an actual issue, So
sure.
Like you've actually did the troubleshooting and try to figure stuff out. So, kind of worked out that way. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Of the locations that you visit so far, which I guess spot has kind of caught your eye?
It's all typical things. Like maybe about a year ago, we were more or less involved in like hospitals pretty good because like we're just a third party. So I don't work for like Starbucks or anything like that. But we're in there all the time and stuff. Which is pretty cool.
You're not an employee of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just a third party company that we're with, and those would be kind of interesting where we would. Depending on who we're being contracted from, there were like different things to be had, such as like if we had a hospital on our day, like you can guarantee they're just like, yeah, for the one work ticket, you can work on multiple machines. So we go out there expecting one thing, and then they're like 6 machines deep. Yeah, go to the 5th floor and go to the 3rd. And go, and it's like, hey.
Oh, see, what happened was I forgot to put all those on the ticket for you.
Exactly. And then,
my bad, dude. My bad, bro.
Yeah, and usually on top of that, then it's like, okay, well, that's just one ticket. So then here are like 3 more. And they're like, okay, now, 4 turns into like 8, Like,
yeah.
What's going on here, But
damn.
That is what it is.
Let's talk about that actually real quick because it is fall. Before we get into the super fun stuff, we talk about all the spookiness that we have planned for us. How do we feel about pumpkin spice season, gents?
There's quite a bit more treat. I'm just straight up like America, like give me espresso and water.
Yeah.
But again, servicing all these different stores, you end up like, hey, you want a drink? And I'm like, absolutely, I'll take whatever you give me. So there we are.
Not picky.
Yeah, like I've never would drink Starbucks actually until like I was there. They're like, hey, what do you want? And I'm like, all right, sure.
It's like twist my arm if I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me get one of those little cake pops though while you're at it. Those are pretty tasty. But
heck
like,
yeah.
It's kind of.
I was about to say I don't go to Starbucks often unless it's like convenient. There's this coffee shop that in my neighborhood that I love called the Gallery Cafe. That's my go-to spot.
Right on. Yeah, I was just at the like Dark Matter. Just
the one like right down the street.
Exactly,
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Billy, where do we land on the pumpkin spice?
Well, I'm not a coffee drinker at all, so
that's right. But I mean, hey, they come in donuts, bread. Like, what are we thinking?
When it comes to the PSLs, I like to make fun of them because there's this comedian named Trey Kennedy who does like this funny white girl bit called Ashley's. And, and he does like a fall season. He goes, oh my God, my PSLs. And everyone's talking about pumpkin spice latte. So when I hear it, I always think of him and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like my sister, I talk about my sister a lot on this podcast because she's trauma bait. No, just kidding. Love you, sis. But like she went through a phase when she found out that like pumpkins were like a superfood where like everything, like I shit you not, everything for like a full year had like pumpkin in it. It was like pumpkin pies, pumpkin lattes, pumpkin and smoothies, pumpkin and whatever, to where if you are what you eat, I'm a human pumpkin, which has just turned me off of the whole pumpkin thing. Pumpkin spice season comes and I'm just like, fuck this, dude. I can't.
Well, like I said, like, the way we met, of course, was through Jessica, so like even at that location, like at Pete's Downer Grove, we had one guy that would come in pretty regular, and he'd walk in and he'd be like, let me get the soccer mom special. And it would just like, he would order like something so specific, but I'm like, I've never had anyone else but you order this.
Yeah.
So like, like,
but like he orders it so often, you don't have to ask him what it is.
Exactly,
you just know. That's crazy. The soccer mom special.
Soccer mom
I don't even remember what it was, but
okay, I was going to say, what is a soccer mom special?
I'm sure it has something with caramel or something.
Oh, I'm sure. In the world of fall flavors, though, like maple is my shit, though. Like when people like, okay, it's fall, it's pumpkin spice, it's apple cinnamon, and it's maple. I'm like, maple's my shit. I can get it like a maple bar donut. I can fucking devour that bad boy.
Maple syrup?
I can get down with some maple syrup. Heck yeah, dude. I love that. I'm more of a maple-y flavor than a pumpkin or an apple cinnamon, but I'll take apple cinnamon periodically.
Okay.
But let's get into the spooky stuff, Mario. The reason we brought you here, the real cool shit, celebrating Halloween, celebrating the spooky week. So before we get into what exactly it is you do and the collection that you brought for us today that we will look at, when did you first like get super interested in things like vibe, the Halloween vibe?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been there. Like kind of always, I think. And that's just upbringing, really. Stuff here, you probably like would associate more or less with like the October season. However, it's just
your life. It's just your lifestyle.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that, contributes to, like I said, just like upbringing and stuff like that. So like, it's like, probably my mom mostly, or
I was going to ask if your parents are kind of into it too, or like were they sort of like so not into it that you were just like, I'm totally into it now.
Yeah, more my mom than anything else. Where like I think there was a bit of desensitivity going on from such a small age and being exposed to a lot of that.
Right out the womb being like, yo, let's watch some horror films,
Pretty much, yeah. And some of them were really bad. Like, I don't know if you ever seen like Faces of Death or anything like that. No. Oh, man. It's like banned in like 40 countries or something.
Damn.
Like,
I feel like I've heard, I've heard of some of these through like YouTube and stuff.
2 years old and like, hey, like, here you go. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just always been there. We're actually just talking about this really stupid time growing up. I was telling a friend of ours, someone we brought along with us for our like review team stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we were just having this conversation just the other night. And I'm like, I remember being in like kindergarten and it's like, you're in art class or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just drawing something and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like whatever.
Yeah. You're in kindergarten. You think everything's dope.
Yeah. Right.
Sick.
So my mom gets called in. It's like, this whole conversation where it's like, is everything okay at home? And it's like, she had to remind me of it, but then I vividly remember it. And it was just this building on fire with like people jumping out. I'm like, it's a cool action scene, It's just
you see the scene in your mind. You don't see the like specific moment. It's the whole scene.
I never related it to morbid, ness. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, this is kind of cool,
They're like, is Mario okay?
Yeah, we need someone to take a look at Mario, please.
Yeah. Clean up aisle Mario. He needs some help.
Yeah.
That's wild though. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was just talking about that like just the other night. It's kind
dude.
of funny.
Kids do crazy shit, dude.
Yeah.
So pretty young age, desensitized.
I suppose I would kind of, yeah. But yeah. I mean, obviously, just growing up, I mean, you would sort of wait for like, even like, think of like the after school, like cartoons and stuff. And you'd wait for those like Halloween special episodes.
Oh, for sure.
It's just they're
always the best, man. They're always the best.
I think so.
But no, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite horror movie?
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Or even like I mean, obviously, I imagine someone like you probably has watched a lot of horror films and things like that.
Like all different variety and subgenres.
Sure.
So like, there's a lot to kind of. I like the real cheesy, like really like crappy,
kind of like the corny,
stuff.
low budget shit. Yeah.
I'm a lot lot into that.
So, do you have like a top 5?
Damn, man.
This is for the listeners, y'all. These are the ones you got to look out for.
I mean, just like random stuff that you'd probably associate in that genre. If you haven't seen, it's on Shudder too. You can watch it. Psycho Gorman. You ever see that?
No.
Huge advocate for Psycho Gorman.
All right. I'm getting a sick list of movies I gotta watch, dude. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I remember I watched it. Like my wife like went out of town for some trip or something, and I was like, all right, like I've been trying to tell her let's watch this, and I watched it. And then immediately went to my parents' house. I'm like, we need to watch this movie. And I watched it again. My sister came home from college.
Sit down. Your mom, sit down. Yeah. Let's go.
My youngest sister came home from college. She's walking through the door at like 2 a.m. I go, sit down. You need to watch this movie. She's like, I'm really tired. And I'm like, yeah, but just
you're like, I really don't care.
Yeah, she's like,
you have to.
She's like, thank you for letting me watch that.
Dude, that's so Psycho Gorman on Shudder.
Fantastic. Yeah,
dude, hell
fantastic
dude.
film. Kind of like sci-fi, like I don't like. It's just.
It sounds like sheer mayhem.
It's great.
When it comes to like the horror stuff, is there a certain, I guess, genre that kind of pulls you more towards, like, for example, the vampires or zombies or like psycho murderers?
Sure. It's so, I don't know. I really like the campy, like just like honestly, like.
Those cult classics that are super low budget.
You would also even think like, the gory stuff. But like for me personally, like Ghost and Mr. Chicken, like perfect. Like it's just so like cheesy, but like, you got like Don Knotts, which is like, just doing his thing. And it's so goofy. Like, anything on like Svengoolie, you know what I mean? Like that's like.
I feel like we're going to get so many horror deep cuts from this episode. And I'm actually really fucking excited about that.
But like, even like, I mean, when you get into it, like, like Trauma, like, I don't know if you're.
I've heard of this one.
Like, so like, we were just doing like some organization because we recently moved and stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's put everything we have together movie wise.
Sure.
And like actually,
do you still have a movie collection like old school?
Sure. Yeah. So like I bought like some really cool shelves,
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I have enough for like 583 movies. Like exactly.
Exactly.
Like let's so you're starting to fill up and I'm like, well, how do you even organize this? And then, you start trying to get into like, okay, let's just do like Trauma. Let's do like Asian,
by like full moon of the different ways you can kind of categorize things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, I get shit every time we move apartments from the people we hire who like hire to move us because they always give us shit. Me and my wife shit because we still have a movie collection. They're like, ooh. We don't really move people with have those anymore.
Physical media,
and I guess
I'm
like,
at, man.
Yeah, dude, seriously, I'm always kind of like shocked that is a thing that like people don't own anymore, like DVDs. Like we have a whole DVD collection, we have a whole CD collection and a book collection, and people are like, "What the fuck do you still have this for?" Everything's digital now, but.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like discs have become obsolete in a way when it comes to like digital media like that.
Yeah, I just never would have saw that coming.
So I view it way different just because of where you know what I mean. Like I just arrived yesterday. It was like the 4K from Arrow Video, like boutique Blu-rays is a thing.
Oh, cool!
Like
dude, boutique Blu-rays are already a thing.
They're crazy.
Blu-rays came out yesterday.
Yeah, so it's like these small little companies that'll like get licensing rights to things. And, actually, TerrorVision, really, really cool. If you haven't been there, there's like a Gray Face Museum just on Milwaukee over here.
No shit.
Yeah, actually, that's a way cool thing we could get into. I'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
But yeah, TerrorVision, it's this small little just like company and they'll buy like the rights to like these like C/B rated movies and release them on Blu-ray, which is cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but Trick or Treat, I just got that. And I'm like, I didn't even realize I didn't have a copy of this. I was just like, oh, I'm going to upgrade. And then I'm like, you go down the list. I'm like, I don't even have a freaking copy of this movie. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? So we popped that in, and it just looks like, I mean, it's like watching it on like a theater screen, but, you're at home.
I mean, it's freaking cool.
Yeah, everything looks gorgeous on that.
With your collection of movies now, is there any specific movie that I guess in a way scares you or kind of caught you off guard?
So, yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I forget the name of it, but it's on Netflix. It's like this Asian film, and it's about I could look it up real quick, but like a lady where like she's trying to like get her family like uncursed, kind of a thing. Like her son's like in the possibility of being possessed, and she's trying to figure this all out.
Is it like dubbed and sub? Or
yes, it's
cool.
Dub.
Yeah, so, look it up real quick. Look it up. I'm curious.
Absolutely.
Curious what the title is.
Because if it's something I can add to my Netflix list and watch it.
My wife fell asleep a little bit, but I'm watching it, right? And it gets to the like climatic part, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, holy shit. Like I felt sort of ways about it, where I'm like, did I just get cursed? Like, what's the deal here?
Am I okay?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of feels like the Ring movie when you watch it
back in the day, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Ring.
Yeah. That was pretty good stuff.
When she comes like crawling out of that well. And it's just like,
I remember watching that movie for the first time. That like wrecked me. I was a wee boy.
And then I think the part of that scared me was when they're in the chair or on the couch and you look down, their face is all like disformed.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm a monster movie guy. I like monster movies. Yeah.
For me, I'm more zombies. I love zombies.
You're a zombie boy. Yeah. A little zombie man.
Well, just because there's so many ways that they've gone with the zombies between like, just coming back from the dead and then like,
runners versus walkers versus
and then it's not from the dead, but they're like zombie. They're like affected with some kind of like biochemical, something in their body. So there's so many ways.
It's been a pretty interesting, like I think, like type of horror film or type of monster to be able to kind of like adapt and evolve. Yeah.
Like World War Z for me.
Oh, great film. Good film. I remember that one. Good fun time. Brad Pitt, right? No, Brad Pitt. Good film. Me and my wife, we have a couple of like series that we always watch every year. We always watch the Final Destination films. Yes. Yeah, we do a little marathon of that. We watch some Addams Family, the live action one.
Yeah.
Not
the one with Louis Guzman, but the older ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's her name? She's Wednesday.
Yeah. Christina. Christina Ricci. Yeah. So we watch those. Just like the campy ones. I love horror comedies. Horror comedies are hilarious to me. I like to get baked and enjoy a good horror comedy.
And the one that I always go back to every Halloween season is, of course, Michael Myers. Halloween.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure. It's classic.
It's just like the music.
Don't copyright on that.
It's just like the music that was John Carpenter, right? I think he does it.
Yeah.
Like it is. it's such an iconic sound and music.
Yeah, it's a freaking good. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember too. What was fun? They were just closing down Cascade Drive-In in West Chicago.
Yeah.
So my siblings never experienced drive-in.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I loved. Have you ever been to?
I've never done one.
Dude, you would love it.
My dad talks about because him and my mom did it, and all their friends did it back in the day, and they always talk about how fun it was. And so it's on my list. But every time I go, oh, I should go check one out. And it's like one's closing, or like where is the closest one?
I think there's one in McHenry, right?
That's it. Yeah,
the one in McHenry. It's a little bit of a drive. I've never been to that one. So fun fact: the small town that I'm from has like one of the last surviving drive-in movie theaters.
Oh, really?
Belfair, Washington. Shout out to them. But it's just like this huge open lot, and like I remember when I moved to Chicago, and I would tell friends like, oh yeah, like that was like a thing we did every summer. Just like me and my friends, we'd go to the drive-in, or me and Boo Thang, we'd go to the drive-in, we'd get some Taco Bell, and we just like hang out and just like watch some films. And people were like, wait, like that's a thing like that people still do? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's like there's actually not much else to do in Washington in my small town besides that.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, we were able to watch the last the Danny McBride Halloween.
For one, love Danny McBride.
Yeah,
so fucking funny.
Just such a weird thing that was there. But like the night before, we're like, all right, we're gonna watch the regular one, and then like this is like a direct sequel to what it's supposed to be, which is way
nice.
Cool. But that other movie, Incantation.
Incantation on
came
Netflix.
Out from 22.
You probably seen ads for it or something like that.
That like it had a moment in there where like you're realizing what's going on, and you're like, what the fuck? Because it sort of just gets brought out and feels like everything's happening around you for a moment. Like you're really involved and like, what's going on, what is this supposed to be, kind of a thing.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, me personally, I think like Asian horror a lot. It's just like some
I feel like that's really been popping off in the US, like in the States, like as of the last like 5 plus years. I feel like that's really been something that's taken off.
And I mean, a lot of we mentioned like Ring earlier too, like Ringu and stuff. Obviously where that's from.
Where all the kind of the origins of a lot of those things are from.
It's kind of fun because like you always generally get like, like US remakes of these. Yeah. But if you haven't seen Cube before, that's a fun movie. But it was so good enough that there's an Asian remake. So,
so a little bit of reverse.
Cool, dude. Yeah, way cool. And you can find that actually at TerraVision too, which is cool.
Dude, we gotta hit up a TerraVision, honestly.
Yeah. Great face. Like I was saying though, they got a museum in the back, which is cool. The owner of there, his name's Brian, really great guy, and he was friends with he ended up befriending John Wayne Gacy's sister. So a lot of what's in his cell when he was executed is actually just on Milwaukee right over here.
That is fucking crazy.
You check it out, and all the walls, like he's got it on display where it's just the same dimensions as the cell he was in. Yeah. And the posters you have here so lovely are all like original John Wayne Gacy posters.
Dude, for all those true crime buffs, man, hit that
cool,
up.
Dude. Yeah, way cool. And then there's like a little section of Anton LaVey stuff, like Satanist stuff and things like that, which is,
really cool.
It's just pretty interesting things.
Heck yeah. Like I said, horror buffs and true crime buffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in Chicago where if you're really into, trying to check them out,
you can find some cool stuff.
Pretty easy, yeah.
I mean, Chicago's such a cool city, man. There's so much shit here, so much culture. There's something for it truly is a city that you can find anything in if you really want to. A community of people who like true crime, who anything. Is there any type of horror you don't fuck with? You're like, nah, this just doesn't work for me.
I suppose I'm into, or could be just about into anything. Nothing particularly, I think, speaks out to where I'm like, nah, I wouldn't watch that. I'll give it everything a shot. Why not? If someone's recommending it, it's for a reason, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the same way they're like, hey, what do you think? And here we are having conversations about Psycho Gorman and things. It's just it's goofy. It might not be for
everything's worth a first shot.
It might not be for everyone or whatever, but for me, I think found footage is way cool too. Cool. It's interesting, just to see. But I remember one time, if you haven't seen As Above, So Below.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. This one, it was the situation I was in currently while watching it. And this was, we're in a little bit of a different situation, sleeping on a full-size bed. So my wife's literally laying on top of me, and we got a blanket, and then it's all just claustrophobia. So I'm feeling like I'm in there with them in these catacombs.
Yeah.
So I just had to raise my hand up into the air just to feel some coldness. And okay, we're
You're
cool.
I'm alive.
Yeah,
I'm not
grounded,
buried anywhere. I'm not.
She's knocked out sleeping, and now okay, this is pretty freaking scary. But
This
I'm trying not to
became a very
move
4D immersive.
Yeah,
experience.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good one though. I like that.
That's hilarious. Let's get into this though. Okay, so starting from the beginning, how did you get into reviewing haunted houses?
Yeah, fun stuff, right? So
the genesis of it all.
Excuse me. So me and my wife, we're how long? We were just talking about this last night. I think we've been together 12 or 13 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But one of our first Valentines actually, or the first Valentine was we're like, hey, there's a haunted house open tonight for Valentine's. Why not check this out?
You down? Because I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. So, you drove out to Elgin. It's a location that changed location since then. They're now, I think, in West Chicago on one of the pumpkin patches and stuff that. But, that started, and then, bunch of months later, we're in October, and we're just trying to figure out, okay, where to go, where to
You're mapping your fallout.
Exactly. So it led to this website, which is where we work for now, the Scare Factor. And it's the nation's largest haunted house directory. You could also end up finding escape rooms if that's your thing. I think there's
kind of anything that's in that kind of creepy horror
exactly
world.
That, so whatever you might be looking for, haunted house, hay rides, whatever. They're all mapped out. So you can click on whatever state you want, and there's a nice little, map that pops up with everything dotted. And, you could kind of figure out from there, right?
Hell yeah.
They needed a Chicago review team. So, hey, we're doing this anyway. How does this work?
We love doing this shit. Let's maybe make a little scratch doing it.
Exactly. So, we're kind of learning. And it took a while, actually. Because what's cool about them is it's all really just fan based, so not everyone was involved in the industry to begin with. It's more just on that fan perspective, which is pretty cool.
It's I imagine you get a little bit of an a more authentic perspective of some of these haunted houses versus someone who's I live, breathe, operate my own. It's cool. It's let's talk about it from the client, I guess.
Yeah, customer perspective. Absolutely.
Customer perspective.
So that's where that came in. Took a couple of, I would say, not a big focus. I'm not talking, but the span of about a year or so.
Yeah.
So we're actually okay, you guys could start submitting stuff on our behalf and stuff. So that was back in 2018.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a while.
Quite a while now, actually, thinking about it. So it's pretty cool because, we end up just mapping out, our season, you could only fit them, because most are open Thursday through Sunday.
So you can only really hit so many, and you gotta kind of pick and choose.
Exactly. So but this year we ended up trying to go to a newer area to us, which is kind of unique in the sense, compared to, because we're not the only ones that does this.
I imagine there's a divide and conquer type situation.
A bit, but not crazy. Everyone's really nice and cool with each other, of course. So but there's other ones, Haunted Illinois is a really good website for that. They focus primarily in Illinois, of course, and then Haunted House Chicago, of course, is another one. Great guy, Chris is there. And they focus, I think, within about 100-mile radius of the city.
Okay.
So really just for that, particular clientele, if you will. As opposed to we have a bit of freedom where we're one of 30 teams in the country, Oh, wow. And I think there's actually a team in UK right now too.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah.
Trying to really,
expand, the network
really
and the map a little bit.
Absolutely. So, every season we typically try to let's head in a different direction and see something we haven't seen.
Yeah, it still wants to be fun for you because I imagine these haunted houses change every year, even the ones you've been to. But I imagine a lot of them are I can't imagine for cost efficiency. A lot of them are kind of recycling bits every now and then or periodically.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them you'll find like newer things.
Investments.
And it's very exciting to see, you know, like, oh, like they've changed something or moved something, you know. There are some examples of things where you're like, kind of like, okay, like, you know, the same, you know, money goes to certain aspects to fix certain things.
Sure.
It might be behind the curtain, so to speak, you know, and you don't really see that. But, you know, it's cool to have that insight, too, because you sort of know what's going on a little more than just a regular person on a Saturday night or whatever.
That's cool.
So, but I mean, it's pretty cool, you know, like the review aspect of things. We cover like, I want to say like 7 or so categories, you know, like cast, like costuming, like special effects, immersion.
Oh, so you really have like you almost have like a list of things.
Opposed to like, you know, and you know, no shade, like, you know, everyone does their own thing, of course, but like you're pretty deep dived into things, and it can get a little time consuming, of course, to try to visit a bunch of places and then still provide pretty good aspect of, you know, with things and what to expect kind of a thing, or at least from our experience and stuff. So
that's really cool. That's really cool. So you've been doing it since 2018.
Like, that sounds right.
And you're like, probably.
Give or take.
Yeah. What type of experience did you have, like, with reviewing anything up till that point? And, like, how did that affect the interview process for you working?
Sure. I probably have to say this is the start of that, actually.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, but, you know, I mean, it really just stemmed from constantly visiting these places, like maybe even more than one time, you know, per season. And then, like, you know, you just sort of get involved with like, oh, dude, like you're doing a Christmas haunt. Like, that's cool. Like, you know, why not go for the Christmas season? And then, you know, all that fun stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it really honestly just started from there, and then, you know, just building up a really good relationship with the community. Of course.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, because they're like, you know, off season, they're like trade shows and stuff like that. So we'll go out to those, and, you know, it's just more or less like checking out latest, greatest tech and stuff in that industry.
Dan, we'll definitely talk about that a little bit more later, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's funny because, like, everyone's always like, when we talk about it, like, you know, we're using like our personal vacation time to essentially work, you know, and like cover all this. And they're like, you know, like, that's in March. Like, you know, what do you like? It's Halloween in March.
Yeah, you're
like,
doing haunted shit in March. What the hell?
Everyone's busy in October. You know what I mean? Like, they're all their own places. You know?
Well, I imagine that's also where they make the bulk of their money is the October. So it's you can't waste your October or even your September, November, doing all of this investing. It's like you know you gotta open up shop, and make some dough.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting though, because, you know, then you start getting into other particulars like prop makers, or like, you know, you know, just special effects people, or like masks and stuff like that. You know, it's way cool, you know, and then you end up seeing some pretty cool things, like, you know, on the show floor and stuff. So
sick.
Yeah, it's good times.
Has there ever been you don't have to name it, of course, but have you ever been to one where it's like, this place is shit? Like, this is the worst put together
no
ever.
Doxing, but I'm curious. I was going to ask that too.
I was curious. Like, you walk into the place, you're like, this place fucking sucks.
And I'll even add on to that too. Have you been to a place that sucked? And when you wrote your review, did they ever read that review and be like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
oh man, talk about a hot seat, man.
Oh, dude, we want the gritty. We want the ins and outs.
Like I said, you don't have to name it. Just
yeah. The thing though,
and if you do, we'll bleep it out. We could always
no, out. For sure. But just the same, like the issue, of course, is like it's been very publicly, you know, just around every corner where it's like, wow, like, you know, like I think what the issue was and really stems from is like trying to give advice, and it's like, you know, in one ear out the other. And, you know, like it's clear that they have a vision that they're kind of thinking, and where that is like about 15 years ahead of what they're actually producing.
They're almost thinking too far ahead.
Yeah. So what really did it though is, you know, damn it. But what really did it was you could tell right away that it was basically this owner that basically was like, hey, ChatGPT, could you create like, you know, haunted house for me? Like, what would be a good story? How do you run a haunted house? Like, you know, how, you know, what is like pricing for a haunted house? What do you do to make a successful place? And basically then went ahead and claimed that they were the first 365-day-a-year location, that they would be open every single day of the year. Then they were the first to do that, which is not the case, actually.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's that original of a concept.
Yeah, there are a couple, in Mount Carroll at the time, before, it's currently kind of going through, just health issues. But Raven's Grin Inn is a fantastic example of that. And like, it's just this gentleman that lives in a portion of the haunt, and it's just this old, just great building. The side note on that, this other guy, he invited us out to do filming of the location, because like the website we work for, like the owners of the website we work for, they tend to do like some behind the scenes stuff. So like, we'll,
people
off season.
People love that shit. Exactly. People love that shit.
So this location wasn't just open just yet, and they invited us out and we had no idea what to expect,
Yeah.
And we walked through and, we walked out probably in a shorter amount of time since I've been talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That quick.
We have not been talking about it that long.
Their walls essentially, what normally you would kind of think were probably just a little bit higher than this table. And that was like, it was, honestly though, like I'll just tell you flat out and I'll link you the video. Like,
please do. Please
it
do.
is still up. And, at the end of it all though, like every one of us kind of like, and like
gave you the look,
and we're just sort of like wait in the car, we'll talk about it in the car because like, you want to like, the whole idea of course is just to like uplift everyone. You don't want anyone to fail,
you're not trying to destroy businesses.
Absolutely
or destroy people's dreams,
like exactly. So like it was kind of interesting though, just to see that. But just the same though, like a lot of things sort of ended up leaking out as time went on where, just actors weren't being delivered what they were promised and things like that. So it eventually, while everyone else in the country was getting ready to open up, they publicly announced like, hey, we're going to take a step back for a minute. And,
hey,
yeah, that's a tough one.
I imagine that
very, everyone, like we had a buddy that like drove all the way, cause this was out in, just near Peru. So like,
oh damn.
Yeah, it's a way, like 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, dude, like we could have told you, our experience before you went out that way. And he was like, I just needed to experience it for myself. He's like, I kind of knew what I was walking into.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, when you're charging like $30 for like 3 minutes of,
that's booty.
And that's kind of what it is, where it's like, it's pretty apparent that, it was just a chat GPT, like basically was the
dude, AI has permeated everything, dude.
It's tough, man.
It's everywhere. I'm an AI skeptic. It freaks me out.
Sure,
I've talked about it. People listening are probably like, shut the fuck up about AI already, but it freaks me the fuck out.
But you could just tell that was the, backing. There was a portion of it where like, even like online, like their website, listed a whole story. Like I'm a sucker for stories and haunts.
Immersion.
Let me walk through like what I feel is like a movie, right? Like, so they had a whole story laid out and like their, signature character, if you were our main character. Nowhere to be found, of course, so at the end of it, our other teammate just, we're standing around with our cast and crew and this owner, and she goes, like I didn't see Lucius Devil, that's the character's name, like, Lucius Devil. And, the owner was just like kind of gave this puzzling look, like, what are you talking about?
Who the fuck's Lucius?
Yeah. So like, it's clear that, it's just, unfortunately it was just, copy and paste situation.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's that's really just based on what was presented to us, like really kind of what it felt like. So
sure.
And again, it's just unfortunate because we like the actors and stuff like that too were like told one thing and presented another. Granted, like it seemed like most of them this was their first like experience in that industry, and
everyone's got to start somewhere.
We don't want it to be a negative one, unfortunately, because it's just don't want it to be like, well, are all of them like that? And that's not the case. Like there are some really great owners and like just fantastic actors.
Yeah. And I imagine finding commitment, like, and I'm not sure how much of this you know, but like I imagine like commitment from people who do acting in haunted houses is probably really hard to come by. So like you don't want to like poison the pool of like, oh, these could be really good, actors up and coming for different haunted houses and stuff.
Sure, yeah. I mean, most of them have their like signature people and stuff. There are quite a bit of like honest, like you're almost meeting celebrities in that industry, so to speak. At this point. So there are a lot of that, and people particularly would go to certain ones because they know those characters are there even too, like on top of just like these really awesome like sets and scenes and stories and things. So yeah, it's definitely most of them should be actor driven, I feel, because that's really,
they're essentially what we're paying to see.
Exactly. If you ever go out to Rockford, like there's a haunt out there called Twisted Crypt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very fantastic in the sense that it's a little bit different where, you're not just sort of zooming in and out of scenes and like being like, or whatever, or get out or anything like that. But they will like keep you in the kitchen scene and like interact, and you have to go through the story and then like, okay, like, go tell like, like Smitty, like dinner's ready or whatever,
you're essentially a character in this story, this film, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
So it's way cool in that sense. So
that's really
then
cool.
You want the next one. And what makes that unique as well is that, your group of people that you're with, of course, like, are the only people, like you never run into anyone else. Like there's a thing called conga lines is what they call it. Where like you'll end up like hitting,
where if one group is walking faster than the other, you're just gonna end up being one horde of giant people. And
exactly.
Often I feel like you get missed out on some scares because you see stuff before.
Yes, exactly. Because things have to be timed a certain way in order for a prop to go off or whatever. But that's not necessarily what that is. So it's a very unique twist. And I mean, granted, talking to the owner and stuff, he's like, this wasn't from day one. This has been like 13 years or 12 years of built up.
It's evolved
now. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a really good forwardly actor driven place for sure.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. It's good stuff there. And yeah.
So like you as a fan of horror, but also doing this as your job, when you go into a haunted house, how do you separate between I'm working and as a fan?
I don't think I do. That's the thing, like, you just end up like, and I've met people, at these conventions that I've seen, or like expos that I've seen at, during the season, right? Like one person I remember having a conversation with, and they were like, I remember you. And it's because, I went and I jumped out at you and you were like, oh, that's really cool. Like, look at the way like this, apparatus works for them.
You're breaking it down in real time.
And they were like, what the hell is this? Like you're supposed to be scared, but, you're like, oh, damn, like, wow. Like, so I think there needs to be like a disconnect. What we'll do sometimes too is like, for example, like my brother-in-law went with us Friday night to one. Yeah. He's never been, so it's just like you sort of get that like first timer's perspective and like kind of
based off of his experience. That's cool. That's an interesting way of doing it. You sort
of like kind of, have that sometimes, which is nice.
Because it's probably pretty easy to get desensitized to this stuff yourself, especially when you are kind of looking at it from like, hey, I'm reviewing this place as well as trying to enjoy it. Sure. So like having that sort of like, what's it called in science when you have a placebo?
Okay.
Of hey, we have a person here who's never experienced it, and I can kind of gauge based off their reaction how any first timer or someone reading your review who's looking to do it for the first time might experience.
Yeah, and there have been times too, like like we've had it where like, a mom and her little kids are going through, and I'm like, hey, they'll come in with us. Like, that's fine. And, they end up just like grabbing my shirt and or like, just hiding type stuff. That's a lot of fun to see their reactions, of course, and you more or less want those interactions with them because it's so fun to see, like, I've had it too where like we've crossed the border to Wisconsin for a haunt out there, abandoned, fantastic people out there. But we worked along with the actors in a way where like, I would just feed them. Like, we're in the scene ahead of the people.
You're laying them up so they can dunk
and
that
I'm like,
shit.
The girl in the white sweater, like, she's a mark. Like, just like get her, and I'm like, I heard her friend, like her name's Ashley or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? So,
do make it personal. They start using names.
Like, hey, Ashley, and like, what the hell's going? And they're just freaking out. It just makes the whole more experience. All the more better.
Awesome.
Honestly, I love to see people's relationship with horror be so positive like that, because it is such like, you think of horror, you think of like scary, bad, avoid, you don't want to be around it. But it's like people's relationship with it can be good and fun and enjoyable. And I mean, that's the fulfillment I get out of haunted houses going. It's like, I know that I'm going to be uncomfortable. I know I'm going to be freaked out. I know and you just welcome that with open arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just bring it. I'm ready.
Yeah. It's just like, I want to feel all the fucking emotions, dude. I want to feel them all.
Yeah. Someone explained it really well, too, where, I mean, you do your Monday through Friday, your 9 to 5, and you kind of come out here to disconnect from all that. You know? And you're sort of immersed in a whole different world, and, it's just good to present that like as full as you possibly can, in terms of what you would expect from like, as a whole, and like actors and
it's
stuff
a feel good
like
job a little bit.
Absolutely. So
now do people you work with at your 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, do you keep these worlds separate, or do you
no, they know well of it. So like what I've done here, which is pretty nice, is like even before, like when I was in the application process, or even with Pete's, for example, when I was there, they knew like October was like, hey, don't bother me for like, I'm like,
Mario's gonna be at the grindstone doing his thing.
Yeah, like January through like September, like if you need me, like I'm there. Yeah, and that's what it was, where it's like, hey, you're going on vacation? I'm like, yeah, I'll happily work 3 weeks in a row for you, to make sure you're okay. But remember this in October, you know?
For sure.
And that's kind of where we're at,
Hey, that's a good relationship to have with your coworkers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was like covering 2 different people. So like, the way like that works with our job is like, we have like an on-call rotation. So like one set of every, like however many of us there are, you're supposed to work weekends if anything comes up.
Sure.
So I'm like, hey, well, I covered your weekend and I covered your weekend. Like, why don't you work my Saturday and you work my Sunday? So this way you're not working, like, the whole weekend. And they're like, this makes sense. So
they're like, oh my God, you're so smart, man.
And then they're like, we'll run that idea by. I'm like, why are you going to run that idea by? It's a good idea. Yeah. And then sure enough, everyone's top like, tier. We're good. Yeah.
People are like, why are you asking us if it's the case? Sounds great.
Yeah. So, so like I've been taking off every Friday just to be able to like, try to get everything done from last weekend before we start a whole new weekend, So,
Sure.
It could get a little daunting and tiresome because, again, like it's still a 9 to 9. And then, you're going home and you're like trying to, finish these reviews and stuff like that.
Got it.
So, I mean, it's just for like 2 or 3. No, not 2 or 3. Like 4 or 5 weeks. So like, you're just sort of like, bite the bullet in.
Yeah, you just know it's gonna be a long couple weeks, but it's gonna be a good time.
That's my favorite every time where they're like, well, you must do something pretty cool for Halloween. And I'm like, I stay in and I put my pajamas on.
Surprisingly, no.
I have, a hot pot of tea on and I don't.
You get everything built up before that.
I'm like, I've done everything I could want to do like just before that. So,
dude, I mean, that's still fucking cool. Say the website you work for one more time.
Yeah, thescarefactor.com.
The Scare Factor. Mm-hmm. What was the interview or like what was the application interview process like from step to step for someone who would be interested in like pursuing something like this with either a different website or?
I would imagine it might be a little different for other ones. There are a couple of different ones like I had mentioned before, at least in our area that I'm aware of. But we reached out to, the owner, of course, like, hey, so you're looking for a team in Chicago.
You just like you find the email on their website, just like hit them up.
We ended up like on, I think it was like Facebook, it was just one of those recommended things.
Oh,
right?
sure,
They ended up like boosting a post that they did looking for people, right?
Nice,
so, that contact happened. And then what ends up happening is they're like, well, why don't you submit a mock review so that we could see like what your writing style is and like any recommendations on that. And of course, going through that was really funny because they're like, hey, is English your first language? I'm like, oh no, like I felt so bad. I'm like, I don't even know Spanish that much. But I was like, I'm thinking like, because I was just kind of zoomed through it. But then you realize that and they're like, okay, like do another one, like, So again, it took a little bit of time to.
Seemed like a friendly process though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're just living up to what, their expectancies are and stuff like that, that's cool. we've now this year even, or last year a little bit too, but for their YouTube channel, of course, like, so some haunts have been gracious enough to allow us to like film a walkthrough to get that perspective, which is really cool. That's a lot of fun, you know, because again, like the whole idea of the website is more on a customer base, is what it should be for. But then, of course, you know, we end up getting, messages and stuff from the actors, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for the shout out," or whatever. And it's like, no, like,
I'm sure they feel like celebrities right there, dude. That's fucking cool.
It's kind of fun, but like, I don't know. It's sort of, you know, in that respect too. Like, you know, I've been on my own walk-in show floors before, you know, and like I've had people like, "Yo, dude, like, love your guys' like YouTube channel and stuff like that." I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, you know, but I'm like, I'm not wearing anything like that. You know, I'm just like doing me, and like to have like people stopping me like, oh, like, you know,
like you're that guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not even any, like, you know, I don't want any of that.
It's funny because it's like you to yourself, you're like, I'm just a guy who likes to go through haunted houses and write reviews. But to these people, it's like you're just essentially mapping their whole fall for them.
We just had that.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah. Like Friday night, like, you know, one of the owners, he's like, yo, dude, like, this is my niece. She's like watches your channels all the time. Like, could you take a picture with you? And I'm like, absolutely.
You're like, hell yeah, let's go.
You know, like, that's great. But like, you know, I'm nobody. Like, you know, like it's fine, you know.
Hey, but that's still cool though. Everybody's something to somebody, man.
I suppose, yeah.
And you know, to these people, you're the king of the haunted houses, baby. What's up?
Excuse me.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. So awesome. So you did doing some mock write-ups and things like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a process through, which was really cool. You know, because you just sort of gotta remember things, right? Like, especially at that time, you know, it's just all more like, you know, we got like a voice recorder and taking, you know, notes like while we're going through a course, and like, you know, trying to remember cool aspects to talk about and stuff like that. Yeah. And you know, it's fun. You know, it could get, again, like a little tedious. Like, for example, like this weekend so far, we've been to like 4 attractions.
Just this weekend.
Yeah, like last night was 3 of the 4 actually. Well, 5 really. When you there are some professional home haunts. Chicago Haunt Builders is a nice community of folk that you know, it's just like, you know, really decorative front yards mostly.
Oh, okay.
But some of them, like for example, out in Mokina, as well as a couple of other ones, but they do their own, like, I mean, the guy's garage is like a walkthrough, you know, and like just the neighborhood could come out and, you know, experience this, which is way cool, you know. And they, you know, it's just a matter for like most of these guys, like, you know, you can tell which ones it's like, when are you opening up a professional location? And they're like, it's just a matter of time, you know.
They're like accruing things at these festivals and these stuff where they're just getting their own stuff, and it's like it's only a matter of time till you run out of space for this and you do something big with it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's way cool though, because, you know, I mean, that's just super passionate, you know, to be able to volunteer your time for that too. And there's a lot of really cool ones. Like yesterday, one of the ones we went through out in it's Marquette Heights, which is near Peoria, right around there. It's called Spook Hollow. They've been around for, I want to say, like 43 or 44 years now.
Damn, so some real history in the game.
Yeah, so it was like
they were there for the Salem witch trials themselves.
It was like a men's club thing, you know. So it's just all, and that whole thing, like, you know, obviously it took 40 something years to get to this point, but it's all just like community based volunteer work, and, you know. It's wild, like, you know, to think about, like
a whole community of people in this town are like, let's go.
And I mean, it's like, you know, you got like actual like medical ambulance and like firefighters and police on site that are just volunteering their time to ensure everyone's having a good time. And part of it, like, there are 3 attractions, and Nate, who's like, you know, just kind of like the head guy that we you know, talk to and stuff with there. He broke them up to sort of create 4, like, pretty geniusly, I think. And it was really cool to see that this year. But where's I going with this? Yeah, you know, it's so crazy to think about, like, how, like, you know, just community based they are. Like, it's really, really cool.
I mean, dude, we love that unity.
Yeah. Oh, that's where it was despite the weather, they still had about 1,000 people, about 1,100 people out that night.
We love that. Dude, that's so freaking. Yeah. I'm sure, like, because even though it's volunteers, I'm sure they still charge people to go through this.
Absolutely, yes.
And like, so I'm sure, like, they make a lot of great revenue for the town and stuff like that. Like, that's exactly what it is. Cool.
And like I think they had stated every Friday, and it hasn't been a problem, but like, damn it, I don't want to misquote anything, but I think like every Friday they have a different like local organization that they'll like take proceeds and
partner with. Nice. We'll put it allegedly with that, but it sounds like something that someone would do.
No, yeah. Well, what I think like the alleged thing was, I forgot if what he had stated was like they kind of upcharged it a little bit more to give those proceeds
Sure.
Which might be a thing, but I just don't want to misquote that. But like for sure, like they do like where like X amount of proceeds go to whatever, organization.
Fucking cool.
So
man.
it is way cool though, for sure.
Dude, the spooky community, man. Very giving one. Very giving one.
It's crazy. Yeah, for real though. Like even example, like if what's cool, where I'm going with this, our website and like the YouTube channel and stuff, the clientele, believe it or not, is more like the younger age group of people. Yeah. And what I think it is like we're having a conversation now. Like, let's say this is like it is a Sunday, whatever. But like you get home and you're talking amongst your friends and you're like, man, like that was a killer time last night at whatever haunt and blah, blah, blah. Like, how cool is that? And you got these youngsters that are still a little curious, but still a little afraid to do it.
Yeah, it hasn't quite reached piqued their interest that much yet, but they're kind of getting a little curious.
More or less like, like I don't know if I want to go through, but I kind of want to go through. This might be really, really scary, but I'm just not too certain. So it gives them a safe space to actually view what's going on there. Nice. And it's pretty cool because like, we'll meet up with the owners and stuff, and they'll even be like, they'll see us around and they'll be like, that's Tyler. Like, oh my God, Tyler, like, from the Scare Factor. And like, it's just kind of funny to see that,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But just the same though, like, it gives them that safe space to like, view all that. Like, and I think that's what's really cool about like the whole community aspect of things too, of course. Cause like with them, like all their actors are community based. So it's like, kids trying to get those like service hours for school and stuff.
Oh, sure. I mean? Yeah.
They're just having a good time doing it. So pretty cool, man.
Hey, that's exciting stuff, man. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Is really cool. In your opinion, what would make a perfect haunted house?
Yeah, like what are some of the key qualities you look for?
Sure. I mean, definitely like, I want to feel like I've like just walked into like just this whole different world, like immersion's like
it's theater.
It's top. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it is. And, you're walking into this, right? Actors like, forwardly driven actor base, like, just give me some good interactions. There's occasionals where it's just like, or like, like, do you want to play? And it's like, and then you try to improv with that. Like, that's kind of like, me and like just about everyone we communicate with is always like, just like, okay, well, let's take this a step further. Like, what are you going to say to me if I were to say this? And, there have been like some awkwardness moments where, it's like, do you want to play a game? Like, yeah, which one are we playing with? Like, what are we doing? Like,
they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And they're just like,
an answer.
Yeah. It's just like, for example, I had, and I mean, this is a younger crowd a little bit. So like, I get that aspect of it, but like, for some of them, like, you want that interaction. And like one of them had like their hand, like, hidden in their sleeve and then a little skeleton hand. And I'm like, what happened there? And, it's just like eye contact. And I'm like, I wonder how long I could have this eye contact for. So I'm there and I'm like, I think this has been like 30 seconds and neither of us has said or moved. And I'm like, I'm just going to go. Like,
you're like moving on.
Yeah.
You want some thought put into a little bit of the backstory and like it's whatever, kind of like a little bit of improv skills, being comfortable with that probably helps.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good particular, I think. So there are some really good ones out there that do it really well. We go out, actually the next Friday we're heading out to, it's in Michigan. Why can't I think of, damn it. They're going to.
Ann Arbor, Succotuck.
No,
I only know a handful of Michigan places.
Dearborn.
More up here. Anyway.
Some part of Michigan.
Nightmare Realm is what they're called.
Cool.
They're within like 2 hours of here. So
okay, so pretty
not too bad. I don't know. It's been a long night too.
Yes, Detroit. We totally forgot Detroit.
Yeah.
But they're like really like story driven, of course, which is really cool.
So you love a good story.
Absolutely. That's me, you know, like, you know, you got immersive scenes, you got like a story you're telling and it flows through the rooms. And like, you know, that's, you know, like I said, I want to like, you know, if I'm going to watch a movie, it's for entertainment. Like
you want to be a character in the movie.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the most scariest thing. Like I've gone through some places that I wouldn't recommend to anybody, you know, in the sense that, I had to do it just to experience it. But like, you know, for example, like I'll bring my sister to a lot of these and I'm like, this one, like I wouldn't want you to endure because like, you know, no one should be like force fed or things like that, you know, like, you know, but like I signed away a waiver, you know, and I just needed to get into that to see what's going on there.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, it's more on the extreme end of things, if you will, somewhere between, you know, fun and,
fun and stressful, anxiety a little bit.
Absolutely. So, it's pretty interesting times.
Well, where do you see like in the near future of what haunted houses can be turned into, whether if it's certain new aspects to it or something else?
Yeah.
So what people have been doing recently, like 2020 actually did obviously a lot to the world. There were quite a bit that were, you know, applauded for just like, we're taking the year off. Like, you know,
the pandemic Lovato, as it's been explained to us, has ruined a lot of that.
Yeah, like we can't, we in good conscience can't operate, you know, like this, you know, makes sense. So, what ended up happening there was an interesting way to run what traditionally was done. For example, you would just kind of get in a line and wait your turn, right?
Yeah.
Some of them have now incorporated like time tickets, which is really cool. So like you show up, you sort of check in and they're like, all right, so like from like, I don't know, like 8:15 to like 8:30, you'll now get in line.
You don't have to wait until like a long line forever.
So what ends up happening is that there's this area called Midway, and it's just sort of like the central where like, you know, things are happening and there's like really cool scenes. It's not necessarily part of the attraction that you're walking through,
but it's building you up. It's getting you hyped. It's getting
so, you know, you may have like food trucks or something like that.
Hell yeah.
You know, you have Roman actors just doing things and stuff like that, which is really cool. But we've been seeing that a lot more, which I am all for because like, I think traditionally people just want to wait in the line for 2 hours and that's kind of like lame, you know,
it kind of kills your buzz a little bit of like enthusiasm.
Yeah, absolutely. But in this, like new method, if you will, you know, everyone just experiences things a little different because like, you know, what I might be doing over here, someone else is doing over there. There's a lot of just like, you know, add-ons, if you will, like, you know, like 10-minute escape rooms or something like that.
Oh,
which
cool.
is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that. So people have been growing their midways really cool.
Nice.
That's been going. I think that's probably kind of where things are.
As someone who despises waiting in lines, like I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's been really cool to see those aspects because, you know, it's sort of adding on to the entertainment just as an extra, you know, like sure, you got your main attractions that you're going through or whatever. And that's what you're really there for, of course. This is just like a different way to like, you know, hey, like if you're waiting, it doesn't really feel like a wait, you know, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
It makes time go by faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going back to reviews a little bit, like what kind of pressure do you feel like you're under as a reviewer? Like, are you in any kind of pressure? Is it like, hey, you know, through these months, you need to hit this deadline of reviews and haunted houses, or is it a little bit more fluid?
So like everyone we go to, you know, like, we typically try to get done within like a 7-day period to like, you know, keep things fresh.
Yep.
So that could be pretty difficult with like, for example, this weekend being like 5 different ones that we have to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then still fit in,
how the hell do you keep them straight in your mind?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You know, so there's just
like that is the problem.
Yeah. You know, so unfortunately, sometimes you're like, you know, it's great to have their team. Like, so it's like me and my wife and a friend of ours, Bonnie, and, it's just sort of bouncing those ideas off one another. And it's like, where was this character at again? Sometimes you're kind of like that.
Versus there.
Sometimes. But, most of the time, again, like just those like mic recorders that we're just kind of noting ourselves.
Oh, cool.
The problem with that, though, sometimes is like, and I've had this, like, it's a very frequent thing where like, I'll start it off like, just, I don't know, Run with Terror. Like, here we are. Okay. And then like we're walking through.
So you're like a fucking reporter. You have that little audio recorder. Be like, okay, we're here at this time, this place.
That's what you would think, right? But
that's what I thought.
The results are like, oh man, that's cool. What was cool? Like I didn't even give myself any details to go by. Like, what am I talking about here?
Damn, yeah.
And that's pretty frequent.
You're like, damn, I'm sure that was awesome. Whatever that was.
Yeah.
During your like review process, when you are walking through these things, are you ever like, smoke's gonna come out of there, a hand's gonna probably come out of there, someone's gonna scream right there?
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, so that's fun, right? So my wife is responsible because of that for one location. What ends up happening, like if you ever go to like a Spirit Halloween, for example,
hell yeah,
you have like your props, right? And you're supposed to step on a push pad.
Yep.
And that activates and triggers it, right? So we were walking through this one and, like you kind of...
You usually see the outline of it.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay, cool, I know where I'm supposed to stand.
Because she kept pointing out particular ones, they changed it to where it's like now sensors that you walk by. So like you avoid it.
Yeah.
And the owner is always like, you can thank Nancy for that. Because like she's the one that kept pushing it. We got rid of all our push pads. Like,
but that's kind of a cool.
Yeah.
But what is it? Cause and effect.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you know what? Like, clearly this has become so regular to where like someone like Nancy or people are starting to identify these things. It's like, well, if we want to keep effectively scaring people and giving these people good experiences, we gotta fucking get sophisticated. You know?
Like
that's
figure out a way around it, which was way cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like just to, like you said, just to have that cause and effect where it's like like, hey, like you were direct influence to this location.
Part of making something even cooler.
Yeah, exactly. So
hey, that's so people saw a problem and they sought a solution for it.
Yeah, which is part of it. Sure, it's more like customer based, is our goal, but it's really cool when we get like owners like, hey, thanks for pointing these things out or whatever, or like, sometimes it could just be an off night, which, occasionally it'll happen. And, there's explanations behind why something didn't work. Like one of them, for example, last night, it was their first year open, which is way cool.
Inaugural year. Yeah.
They crammed basically a whole haunted house within a like 5 or 6 month build, which is like nuts, right?
Yeah.
And timing was a little off. So like, our group would walk past something and then it would like go off. And it's like,
okay.
So it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But it'd be cooler if, we're walking by, of course, but there was acknowledgement even like after that conversation where it's like, yeah, we're still working on the timing and stuff and blah, 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 So, you expect for 1 year, like, okay, give it like, maybe like a 3 or 4 buff and you'll fine tune like things in particular. So.
Do you enjoy going through haunted houses that are a little bit more fresh or new versus ones that have been established for longer, or do you have a preference of which one versus?
I don't think I particularly do. But it's cool to get them on those first couple of years and then see the progression, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you sort of like see what, their ideas are and what they've like brought to that particular table. We're honestly like, in Chicago, like very blessed to have so many good attractions like in our area,
I mean, we just have like, one, we have the city, obviously tons of resources just in the city, but like nothing like you can make for a state that's mostly cornfields. There's a lot of scary shit you can do with cornfields.
I think it's just Ohio and California, I think, beat us in number of actual attractions that are on our website directory.
Sure. Oh, sure.
But we have, I think, up to like, somewhere between like 90 and 100 maybe.
Damn, that's
something
so fucking
crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, something like that. But it's up there. It's like definitely above like 70 or 80.
Would Chicago be considered like a horror capital of one of the horror capitals of the country? In your opinion?
What I think is interesting about that is more like you'll find these more in the suburbs, of course. Like it's kind of harder on a haunt in Chicago.
Oh,
just
sure.
To like, particulars that you would really get deep into.
Isolation feels really good.
Yeah.
It feels really scary.
I mean, for what we have though, for sure, it was really cool. One of the other expos, like they work together. They're under the same ownership, but they do like a thing called Midwest Haunters Convention, which is more based towards like the public and like actors, as opposed to the other one called Trans World, which is the one in March, and that's like more like the crazy big
animatronics, type stuff.
All the like latest tech where owners of all over the country and world kind of gather in the space for like
see like, hey, what's new in the world of haunts and stuff.
Yeah, so for that, like Midwest has been pretty cool. I think Midwest Hunters, they had a year in Milwaukee, but I think it was in Ohio. Don't quote me on that. But, prior to that,
sure.
But it's been in Chicago for a couple of years now, which is way cool.
Hey, so whether it's the capital or not, can't say, but pretty damn.
Yeah, I would say, we
Chicago community.
Considering the quality and quantity, oh man,
Chicago's got some stuff cooking,
man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sick. I mean, next weekend, for example, too, like not even haunted house related, but just in general, if you haven't heard of it, it's Nightmare on Chicago Street. And it's in Elgin. And they basically take about maybe like 4 to like 8 block radius. And everything down there is just a party. And, so like, being from the website, we are like, we're going to like help cover like media. On that,
yeah.
So, just going around. And I mean, people are dressed up, like, and just doing their thing. Svengoolie will be there too, which is pretty cool. They got like different stages with like, music acts and like just street performers all around and stuff like that.
Dude, that's awesome. There's
always something going on,
whenever you can get a town to, like, we kind of already talked about a little bit about this, but whenever you can get a town all collectively united on something, like, that is fucking cool, man.
And like, some businesses like, it's a fun way they do it, right? So like some businesses like will be closed, obviously, because whatever, like their particular storefront might not suit the public in that way.
Yeah,
other ones will be open, but the ones that are closed, they're quarantined areas, so they'll have like a quarantine sign over it, which is fun.
It's immersion.
Exactly,
it's the story.
So it's a fun way to just like, hey, we're not really participating in this, like, but the next,
in a roundabout way, we are kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So it's way cool. But they'll do things like, for example, there's like a car lot, like multiple floor.
Yeah.
And like at some point of the night, they have like zombies on the top. So it's just actors hanging over like, oh. And then there's a guy that's just roping himself down to try to get, escape the level. So like even there, you got like an airplane that they freaking put up on there, and it's supposed to have like crash landed on there for a zombie outbreak type deal.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to escape, and he gets to a certain floor, and the other guys just drag him in, obviously like for safe reasons.
Sure.
But it's so cool to see things like that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
that is so freaking cool.
Yeah. I can't recommend that enough because it's just such a good time. It really is.
It sounds incredible.
What else is cool too? This year they did. There are like secret pop-up bars, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I think there's like 4 of them, and they're all different themes. So like the one we're gonna go to that we got our tickets for is like a retro video store type deal.
Nice.
So like that's the whole theme of it, and they got like themed cocktails and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So that should be
the pop-up bar game seems to have been really have blown off in the last like 6 years or so.
Yeah.
The theme bar. Billy kind of asked a question similar to this, but you go to these conventions sometimes, right?
When I mostly like the ones related to like the haunt industry, but there have been like other ones obviously that are just more horror based. Like I think there is literally one called Horror Con,
Yeah.
And that's more like the celebrities that'll go.
Your panels of actors from movies you watch and stuff. In the world of horror, like, do you see anything down the pipeline that really piques your interest? I know we talked a little bit about the midway section, but in terms of technology, animatronics in the room, actor, prosthetics, things like that, anything that's like, you know what, this is in the couple of years, this is going to be huge.
That's really good.
The future of horror.
Sure. I think just the like industry as a whole, like, I mean, I suppose it's whatever's coming up at Trans World, to be honest. Like that's pretty good basis to think of
the future.
What to see is kind of coming up.
Yeah.
But more or less, I mean, like, you have like, just things of all various size, right? So like, some of these props could be like 18 feet tall and like, just towering, and you feel like I'm going to get picked up and eaten type you know what I mean? Like, damn, I've never felt so small before. Like, you know, like since kindergarten I haven't felt this way, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know, like in one particular direction, maybe not, but like it's pretty cool just to see like you know, particular ones' developments, of course, you know.
Sure.
Another really good one out in Oak Lawn is called Midnight Terror.
Okay.
They just have changed their whole storyline this season, so really excited to go check that out actually, because they sort of ended one chapter and are starting a whole new thing.
Evolving into a new entity a little bit.
Exactly.
Same but different.
It'll be kind of cool to see, you know, what they have in store, I think. So
hey, that's exciting. That's exciting. I feel like, do you feel like with the popularity of the horror genre within the last handful of years, you probably know the timeline better than I would, but I just feel like I, as a bystander who likes horror films, but isn't like, you know, in the gritty of it all the time, like it does seem like there seems to be a growing popularity around horror, whether it be film, video games, interactive, even escape rooms. Some of them, you know, are kind of take on a little bit more of those horror elements and stuff. Do you feel like that? How do you feel like that's affected the industry over the handful of years you've been sort of baked into it?
Probably positive, for sure. I think it's pretty cool to have those particulars mainstreamed, if you will.
Yeah. Because I remember growing up, it was like pretty much any horror film you saw was going to be like a low budget horror film, which is like a good time. But it seems like over the last I'll give it 10 years since like 2015. Seems like horror films have been getting bigger budgets. Horror video games have been bigger now than before.
So yeah, you know, when you get to those particulars, you know, there can be some suffering, I think. You know, it loses a particular charm about it, I think, sometimes, which I particularly like. Like, you know, we're talking like, you know, physical media, for example, right? Like, so like if you're sort of like streaming stuff in that particular, you sort of lose like the really nice charm of like a title screen and like the bonus features and stuff like that. If you haven't been, pretty local too as well. Video Strip. I don't know if you've heard of this or not. It's in Brighton Park, but that's where I used to, like, as a kid, rent my video games on a weekend, and they're still up and running, you know?
Dude, hell yeah.
So, yeah, dude, he's got, like, 25,000 movies in that store that you could just, like, rent, you know? And it's, like, it's a good time.
Dude, video rentals, man, they're still out there.
Yeah. Joe's amazing, man. Yeah, he's a good guy. I think they're actually just celebrating their 30th year.
Hey,
wow,
3-0,
dude.
you know?
Yeah, crazy. But, yeah, I mean, even like that whole, like those particulars, like, you know, where you're doing that. But just as a whole, like the whole mainstream thing is really cool. I think, you know, even looking back, like you had some really interesting tie-ins to those.
Yeah.
Like, I think like Chucky like was on like wrestling one time or something. You know what I mean? You're like, what is this? Like, what is going on?
You see the cross genre or the cross mediums.
Exactly.
Really creatively done.
So it's kind of fun to like have those things seep in. A really good example too, like, you know, in the past few years, that movie Smile. I don't know.
So it's about to get a third installment, I heard.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that. I don't even think I've seen the second one yet, but their like advertisement team, like kudos, man. They were like in MLB games, just smiling at the camera. Like that's frightening, dude. Yeah,
that's marketing at its finest.
They were literally they got some of the most expensive tickets.
Yeah,
and they were like, so like when you're watching a baseball game, you see behind the batter.
That's so distracting.
And all you saw was just.
Yes, exactly.
That's all you saw. It was really creepy, and I didn't realize that was advertisement.
Right? Yeah.
I thought it was just two people. Hey, we're
doing a bit.
We're just gonna be really fucking weird here and just smile.
Yeah,
dude, that's marketing.
Crazy, though, right?
Immersive marketing is insane.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I think, you know, I like those particulars for sure. And
I feel like that's that has to be a very uniquely horror thing to be able to do such immersive marketing that way. Because it's like all you're doing is buying a baseball ticket, but like it gets people talking.
Think about how you're broadcast. Like,
they were literally just standing there.
Yeah.
And like that's it's so simple, but it's so effective.
Absolutely.
And that's, I feel like, something that's unique to the horror genre. I feel like action, you don't get that as much.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Because like you can't just go randomly blowing up props in. You'd be like, oh yeah, promoting this horror film. You know what I mean? Or this action film.
Yeah, right.
Same with like romantic comedies. Like you just can't do that with those.
What are you gonna do? Have have two people like making out in the like that's not as effective.
That's called Tuesday, bro. Like
exactly.
That's like walking down Western. That's
with the Coldplay concert now.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, what do you? I feel like the horror genre in general has always been very, very forward thinking in their marketing. Like I think of, I remember what movies were it was that? I think it was a found footage film. I remember, but like they had websites made and they were all
absolutely.
They're like fake websites, but they're real marketing that people can interact with that connects to that stuff. Like again, horror has just been so forward thinking.
That was like such a beautiful time for that because like you had early internet, right? So like
the Wild
West are plausibly believable, it's plausible that this is stuff. So like Blair Witch was like that example. Right?
Yeah.
So like, you had like 3 actors that were very little to not really known.
Yeah.
They marketed it. Like, hey, we found this in the woods. Like, this is, and the marketing there, it's at this like time where like, on the schoolyard, people are talking about this and like,
oh yeah, did you see that? That's a real thing.
Yeah,
it's real.
And it was so believable because like, things are just, like kayfabe so different than they are like now. You know what I mean? Like,
didn't they do a movie one? I forget where you call a phone number and you like listen to it on like.
I was just about to mention that too. It's I think Long Legs might be it.
Possibly.
Yeah. So like that was Nicolas Cage, and that was crazy. Like it did not really look like Nicolas Cage, but yeah, they even did a website that was like committed to like the crime scenes of this killer and all the so you'd have to go through this lore to really get like a really fun experience. I like that. You know what I mean? Like get me involved like outside of just sitting down, like
for sure. And like that's something that I feel like is also not only just unique to the horror genre, but so unique to the horror community too. Like I feel like because I watch YouTubers play horror games, watch stuff like that, and it's like you see communities of people that love deep diving into these worlds of these horror films where it's like part of me thinks like, is it still scary to you if you're deep diving this much? But it's like pulling the thread and seeing how long it goes. And there's that urgency and that sort of like innate primal instinct of like, I need to know where this goes, even if it's not good. I need to know where it goes. And I just, again, the horror genre has just been so forward with that, better than any other genre, I think.
Yeah, there's some of them that just like, you're like, damn, dude, this is kind of sucks because like it's so believable, like of situations. Pretty interesting to think. Like one people I think were praising a lot was called Megan is Missing. I think it's called.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like it's just like kind of believable, but that this young teen girl was being stalked by some dude and ends up in a freaking barrel. You know what I mean? Like that sucks. But I'm sure there are podcasts out there that have actually like talked about real true crime that's happened in that respect, Like,
heck yeah.
It's terrible, man.
It didn't click until afterwards. I was like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, oh wait, I know the movie now.
Yeah.
It was I think it was on Netflix.
Possibly. I think I watched it on YouTube because maybe at a time it wasn't available on Netflix. But
something like that.
Because I remember watching some kind of thing where a girl was like, she was getting messages on like social media, like Facebook, and then he like was taking pictures of her when she walked from school or something. And then I remember the end of the movie, she was like in a barrel. It was like a hole.
Yeah,
all you saw was
that
like
sounds right.
Yeah,
yeah, that sucks, man. Like that sort of like you really feel like you're in that damn barrel too. You know what I mean? Like you went through this whole roller coaster of emotion. So
now, back to opinions? Do you feel like because like if we can go into the impact of what the horror genre, how it started and how it's impacted pop culture today. Cause like we can even go into things like there's like monthly subscription services they send you now where you can solve crimes and mysteries and it's like that horror type stuff. Like I think of like Hunt a Killer or stuff like that, where it's like, ooh, like it seems like the genre is getting more and more immersive and trying to find ways to like permeate people's real spaces with things like websites and things like that. Like, do you think that is the direction that horror or haunted houses or in general are going to start moving towards, of like pushing the boundaries of interactivity?
So some of them, like a really good example, one of the like topped, it tends to always rate number one, like in Illinois from us.
Yeah.
It's called Hell's Gate. It's out in Lockport. You probably
I've seen the billboards.
Yeah. That, I mean, super immersive, right? But there is a ticket that you could buy where you'd basically like, hey, I'm coming with my friend Mario. and these are the things he's scared of. These are personal things about him.
Dude,
and they will have
sick.
everybody like basically like, okay, he's on site.
We got our boy here.
And everyone that you encounter will like sort of
that's fucking
give
cool.
like some details about you that you're like, what the hell's going on, you know?
Dude, that is so insane.
Yeah, pretty cool in that sense.
Very personal too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. There was one we went out to in Indianapolis a few years ago that was this weird combination between like a haunt theater and an escape room all together.
Yeah.
Which was way cool. They only did it for one season. I can't really say because I don't know what exactly happened. That they were only one season
worked
deep.
or didn't work. Yeah.
But you know, they slickly did it where, you know, like you're signing information, of course, like, you know, just like, but I think that was more or less just to get your information. So like there's like for example, like in the seance particular area of it, like, you know, one of our friends like made a wisecrack about it. And, you know, the actress is like, boom, you know, like, oh, Richard, like, you know, and lists his address. And he's like, what the hell? But, you know, didn't click until after about
like,
you know,
hey,
but in that moment, you're like, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun in that sense. But it'd be kind of cool to see, you know, I just think like, you know, logistically how that might work, considering like if you have like, you know, like for example, like last night, that other one having like 1,000, you know,
how do you make it so interactive for that many people?
Yeah,
all
like
at once?
that exactly personal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Granted, I mean, we've been through so often that people are like, "Hey, Mario. Hey, Nancy," and it's like, you know, and then we'll see them outside, like, "Oh yeah," you know.
It doesn't come from any sort of like extension that they're doing. They just happen to be so familiar with you, where it's like, it's personal
exactly.
now.
And I'm sure that happens with like pretty regular based customers too.
Sure,
you know, like
sure.
not just obviously us.
Because like I'll be straight, if I had this idea, and anyone listening can steal this idea because I don't even know where I would begin with. But like I personally, I would spend so much money if like someone just like owned a plot of land and it was like, okay, cool. What we're gonna do is like if you pay X amount of money, you can just like camp on our land for a weekend, and we give you this hardcore interactive horror experience.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And you're just like camping with your homies in log cabins and shit, and like you essentially live that campground horror film experience.
That would be really cool.
Where it's like, you know, you're gonna be woken up in the middle of the night by this, or like, you know, you might go outside for a walk and you're gonna run into these things, and it's like that's what you sign up for. Like that would be like figuring out how to logistically maneuver that. I have no fucking clue, but it would be so like, take my money, bitch, take my money.
I think I heard of an Airbnb that actually delivered some sort of experience that way. So like randomly at like, you know, 1:30 in the morning, like the lights just kind of flicker or something weird. You know, like, it's kind of cool though. I like that idea. Cool.
Interactivity, man. Like the horror genre has just been so forward thinking.
Yeah,
with
these
that
days
shit.
you would have people that would actually like, you know, I'm sure you'd have to sign up months in advance to get involved with something like that, man.
But I just know I would pay some pretty big dollar to do that.
Sure.
You wouldn't have to twist my arm. I'd be like, dude, just take my money. Let's go.
Shut up and take it.
Anything else? What do you feel like you've learned from your years of doing reviews for haunted houses? Like, has your writing style become more sophisticated? How you analyze haunted houses changed over time?
I think like, you know, it's kind of fun to, you know, find words, you know, like, you know, you're like, how to eloquently put things different. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, that's kind of fun. And then to use that just like regular vocabulary in your day to day is pretty cool, I think. So that's pretty fun. I think it's just, again, like community, like that community is like really just wholeheartedly like great, you know. There are really great organizations within that as well. That's been really cool. For example, like another one is like called Hunters Against Hate. Cool. And, you know, they like just pretty much like give proceeds that they get towards like, you know, LGBTQ plus communities and stuff and organizations like that. They provide their own like expo, if you will, called The Event, you know, Event. Yeah, that's pretty cool, you know, and they get like, you know, celebrity guests to come out and stuff like that too, which is way cool. So that's really cool. I think that's been a big thing in the past few years too, of course, is giving those particular you know, folk safe space and stuff like that. And you know, it's just always stuff like having a very good inviting and like, you know, just like, hey, everything's cool here, you know, like granted, there are some scary things out there in the world. And
in reality,
yeah,
reality can be fucking scary.
It's kind of funny how ironic it is that this scary space that you're in is actually a pretty safe space, to say the least. So it's kind of cool,
I bet.
Yeah, so that's pretty fun. Just being more sort of, I think, involved in a community in that sense, as opposed to just kind of clocking in and clocking out of, just a regular day. Or, for example, like that. There are other really cool things like to get involved with too. Like, buddy of ours runs a thing called Lost Souls Tour. And it's past this year already, but basically we'll do like a BYOB bus tour between haunted houses.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, you start at one. Yeah, you go through, you're drinking, you get to the one haunt, and then like you automatically are like the group that gets it next. So if there's a line, forget it, you're skipping it.
You get a little VIP.
Yeah,
vibes.
Exactly. Yeah. So then you do all that. Our particular team, we're like for the Scare Factor course, like everyone has their own like team names. We're Team White City Devils, and we were able to host the last after party for the Lost Souls tour, which was way cool.
Sick. That's
so that was
sick.
Kind of fun. Yeah, so we had a local taco people just throwing down, and it was a good time. So pretty cool. Yeah,
that's really cool.
So I think that's kind of fun, at least for us to like just kind of developing more into those particulars, and just instead of sort of, like you said, like just existing as a customer, just being more involved. And it's kind of cool to like sort of see that, like I said, as much as I'm shy of that particular, like, hey, there's, Mario or whatever, it's sort of
still cool.
kind of a thing.
It's still cool.
I mean, like even like a few years ago too, like, it gets brought up every now and then, like randomly, but like my wife, like was reached out by Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Oh,
so
shit.
yeah, we were on that, like for talking about this stuff too, actually.
Dude, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's so cool.
You can find that. I think, what was it? Like Conan needs a friend or something.
Something like that.
One of those. And
send us the link to that. We'll put it in the show notes for this for people who are more interested in more about this stuff.
So like even there, like, there were particular things that like, because he's like, oh, check out behind your walls, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, why don't you take a look at this? Then he's like, that's some sort of gelatinous looking creature in a jar, so that's kind of fun. That's sitting back here right now.
Oh, so, hell yeah. We're going to pull that out. We're going to check that out.
So yeah, and I think that's where the cross section kind of lies, because again, like you get these like little sub communities, right? Like that's all like we've been talking pretty mainstream stuff, but then you also get like really into like the oddity, curiosity aspect of things as well.
Yeah, they go a little hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of fun, and then you get like particularly cool things like there's like hearse clubs, so like, think of like the hot rod shows that you go to, but it's all just like tricked out hearses and things like that.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, like to be able to just sort of be.
I mean, it seems like a super fun world to be a part of.
Sure, yeah.
Very fun.
It's kind of fun to think about that it's not for everyone, but like,
quite literally.
And even like at those events, like, we've had like, sort of like the Jesus freak people, just like, they're
like,
kind of
all the devil going to hell.
Don't do that.
The power of Christ. The
power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, like, oh, did you need something exorcist? It's right. Like, I'm sure there's like some artwork or whatever. Like, it's crazy though, but. I get it, but like at the same time, like
it's like, hey, we gotta find enjoyment in our own things. Let us have this.
Yeah,
let us have this.
You don't see me go to the church across the street and like picketing.
Yeah,
like there's a haunt open tonight or whatever.
Fuck, screw Jesus, go to a haunted house, you idiots. Yeah, it's like chill out, people.
I mean, sometimes you find them at them on the Easter haunts.
Easter haunts is crazy, yo.
Find a zombie.
Do what you want.
Jesus will save you.
Don't fuck with the Easter bunny, guys. Jeez,
it's never too late.
Yeah, fun stuff though. Yeah, so I think that's sort of just the whole, those particulars as a whole, I think have impacted me in such a way where like just. It's become a regular, just the same way you have things on your walls. Things are on my walls that, people are like, what the hell is that?
And honestly, they don't have to get it. They don't have to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, a super fun fucking chat. Before we switch gears and check out this collection, because we're going to check this collection out.
Yeah.
You have any? I have one more question, Billy, but I want to open the floor if you got anything else.
Kind of going back to the beginning of like how that's all begun and stuff. Like, what was like that first haunted house that kind of was like, hey, I want to like do the reviews. Like, what was that first experience like?
So I think, oddly enough, what ended up doing it for us was like we were going out there anyway. You know what I mean? Like we were just like, I remember there was one like Saturday night I was like at work. And this was prior to Pete's. I was like managing a Dunkin' at the time, right? Something always with coffee, right?
America runs on that shit, yo.
So like it got to a point where like, you know, someone was trying to call off and I was like, hey, you know, like I just need you to close the store. I've already been here for like, you know, 13 hours. Like, you know, I'm just looking to leave. Like I'll be here tomorrow, like morning, like whatever, right? So like, you know, finally this person shows up and like my wife's like getting home or whatever. And I'm like, I'll meet you at this train stop. There's a haunt open. Like, we'll just go there, you know? Dude. And then, like, we went there, and it's like, you know, there's another one in the area. Like, let's just go there, too. It's
like, let's just keep going. Keep the fun going.
It's like, you know, the next one's, like, only, like, 30 minutes from here. Like, you know, why not just go there? Like, well, we could probably beat it before they close. Like, you know, so it was all that, I think, and it was always just the excitement of, you know, the season, right? Like as a whole, like, you know, and like being able to like, okay, well, they're open, you know, earliest. So like, let's go there first, you know, get them out of the way. And then, you know, go check out another one down the line. So I think like we were always like sort of plan that financial little like, okay, here's our little October buffer, you know, for all the haunts and stuff. But this way, like, you know, it provided like just something extra to do within that, like, because we're doing it anyway. So like, you know, it's kind of fun to like get to know people in that aspect. And then it also sort of gave us like, oh, hey, you guys are here. Like, let's just get you in real quick. Like, you know, so you're like bypassing the line and not having to wait for quite some time. Sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know if it was like more one particular one that got us really in it more than it was just the whole aspect of like we're doing it already.
Let's go to a bunch of them. Like might as well do some write-ups.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to get involved in some aspect of that because we were never like acting at one. You know, like sure the thought was there, but if we were stuck at one spot, we wouldn't be able to visit all the spots. You know. Yeah. That's kind of where that came from, I think.
Nice. I just thought of a handful of questions actually. Sure, yeah. So my next question is like, how does getting paid work for this? Or like, do you get paid per write up and stuff like that? Like, obviously, you don't got to go into like specific details of how much you make, but like, how does getting paid work?
Yeah, usually like that. As of now, I will have to say this has been up to this year pretty much volunteer work. So it was really just getting a foot in the door, you know, in that respect.
So you get some clout a little bit.
Yeah, you know, and just like be involved, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so like I said, like, you know, it was just being such a fan of that community and stuff and, you know, just more on the customer aspect of things that, you know, it just sort of gave us a foot in the door to like get to know these great people and, you know, just sort of build relationships with that and stuff. Yeah. So pretty cool, you know. But you know, I think the channel and stuff has been growing to a point where that might be a possibility.
Yeah.
But it's just been more of honestly a passion piece than anything. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of really what it is. So
and that honestly feeds right into my next question. As far as like your ideal situation, like where would you like to see this take you in a perfect world? Is this something you'd like, hey, I'd like to make this my career if possible? Or is it really just like, hey, you know what? I have my situation with, you know, the coffee shops. This is really, if I get paid to do this, great, but I'm really just along for the ride. Like where how do you feel about it and where would you like to see it go if you had your way?
Excuse me. It's kind of interesting. Like this year that kind of hit a little bit too. Where we're in line and we're doing something at one of the haunts and we have a group of like, you know, teenagers come up to us and they're like, are you guys YouTubers? I'm like, what the hell is a like, no, I'm an adult.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about?
I'm a like, fucking person.
Yeah, I have a job, you know? So I never really thought to like, you know, merge the two, you know, like melt them together. Like, it's interesting because, like, you know, that could particularly be a thing. I think there just needs to be more thought about that, like, you know, personally. But I never really thought about it in terms of, like, you know, actual
I can give investment. Up my day job so I can do this full time.
Exactly. Like, if something like that were to come up, that'd be pretty cool. I know the owners have, like the owners of the website have been able to kind of done like an entrepreneurship type situation, but still, you know, have amongst their own things that they do as well. But were able to eventually quit their, 9 to 5s as well to fully pursue this. So it's kind of fun to be able to help in that aspect because, Chicago's a big market. So, we're trying our best to, help cover those particulars for them. But yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Open to it, but not sold on like, I want to do that or like, that's my 5-year plan type shit.
For me personally, it's always like, I don't know. I feel awkward watching people walk around where they're like, camera facing to them and they're getting that info in and like check. But slowly but
we
surely.
got Mario here, dude. Back again. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, no, we get
chat,
that.
Tell me what should I do here, chat. Go left, chat.
Slowly though, it's like kind of become that, where like intros and outros and blah blah blah.
No, I mean we do them also. Like,
sure,
totally
that. So like I don't know. It's just been a world that though I've sort of been on the cusp of, if you will, I've never fully immersed myself into. Could it happen? Maybe. I mean,
hey, you're already getting recognized. It seems like
it's weird. Yeah,
like, but like those are kind of the foundations of where those things start.
Sure, that's very true, and I think it's just probably taking some time to reflect that, as opposed to like sort of, for lack of a better term, shun it. Where I'm just like, I don't want to be that person, but like that's just me. I don't know. It's
weird because we're in a world now where like just being yourself, people find that entertaining. Where it's like before it was like actors and whether it be live actors, but it's like you just expressing an interest in what you like is kind of gets attention in its own right. And
like even this, right? Like I was just like, like, man, this would make a killer episode. And I'm like, what though? Like, like I'm just doing.
You're just
what
talking
I'm
about
doing.
what you like.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like it's interesting to see that people are interested in it, but it's just. It's just what I'm.
It's just
doing.
Mario doing Mario.
It's weird. Yeah, it's really unusual to me. I think there needs to be a grasp there somewhere where it's like, okay, like maybe I might be slightly interesting. I don't want to admit that. I don't feel I'm that, but
I mean, I think you're interesting as shit, Mario. This has been a fun chat. Dude. This has been a fun chat. I have one last question, but Billy, any more questions from you?
No, I'm ready to look at what do you got back there.
I have one final question, and this is for people. Again, I love asking this question because as someone who's doing it, I think a lot of people who are into this type of thing ask themselves like, oh, I could do that, but I don't know where to start, so I'm just not going to do it.
Sure.
Like, what advice do you have for someone who is like looking to maybe go down this road, whether it be through a hobby or maybe look to it as a career move in the long term? Like, what sort of advice would you have for that individual?
Sure. I think just the pursue, obviously, keep with it. I would think. I never thought we would be involved this long, even let alone like.
Like maybe for a year we'll do it.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, is there going to be a cutoff point? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like we're. I suppose it's just hey, it's October again. We gotta get these things done.
We're back in it.
It's just it's part of life now. So I think there's that realization to just like hey, commit to it. Is a good thing. Don't be afraid to network. There's plenty of really acceptable and just great resources out there with people and stuff in those industries. I think there's also don't be afraid to take advice from other people if you're looking for that.
Feedback. Take feedback.
Again, kind of circling back to that other place that, was just like, no, we're good. Like we're doing what we're doing. And, again, to have those doors closed while everyone else is open, like literally the entire country's opening up their doors. You're announcing you're closed. Like it's kind of crazy. But, I mean, I'm sure that, there could be plenty of more people to give pleny of more better advice. Sure. It's just never stop being humble, I suppose. I don't think, it's just keep with it, like that's really, I never thought I'd be contacted by someone for a podcast for just, you know what I mean?
For just like what you're interested in.
I don't know. It's weird.
No, and I'll probably cut this out because I explained this part a lot, but like the reason I like to ask people like in your position that question is because like when I would listen to podcasts, like self-help podcasts about like, oh yeah, this person does this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I should learn about that. It's like, typically they're interviewing people who have done or who operate on such a high level that like I felt often that their advice really wasn't pertinent to me. Okay. Because it was like, oh, they already had a lot of money or they already invested in all this stuff. So like these careers were really easy for them to get jump started in and really dive into, where it's like, I'm just a broke ass kid from Chicago who doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do today, let alone tomorrow.
I get that.
So hearing from people who like from your position, right, take this hobby and find whether it be lucrative, a hobby, or whatever, it's like it feels like it's more applicable to people in our position who have no experience in this world of how to get started.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. There's a bit of like authenticity there, where it's just like
you're just a normal guy, but like you're doing this thing that I think's fucking cool.
I go like tomorrow. I'm going back to work, and then afterwards I'm going to be typing up and trying to get ready for next weekend, and that's fun.
Hell yes. Awesome. So I'm going. Okay, cool. So we are going to shift gears from haunted house reviews, and you brought us a little handy dandy collection to kind of go through. Super excited to dive into that. I don't have a setup for it. Let's just check some shit out.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, this year, people have knickknacks and stuff. So this is just stuff flying around the house.
Also, apologies for listeners. Obviously, since we're an audio only format, you might not see anything, but I'll take pictures of stuff and we'll post them on our social medias. That way you can experience them that way. But feel free, take off the headset, whatever you got to grab. That way, cords are not like that. But let's go into this.
This is great. Cool. Like I mentioned that Nightmare on Chicago Street, earlier. A lot of shops open there. So I picked this out 2 years ago.
Cool little gray box.
Yeah, fun little box. It's a Kilgore International box. This is a one of 4, I think we have currently.
Oh, so it's pretty limited.
No, I just mean in the sense of what I currently choose.
Oh, God. Okay.
God.
So in the box, I have 4.
I'm like, you travel. It's something that rare you travel in the CTA with. Holy shit!
No, but this is a human medical skull.
Oh shit,
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, get a picture of that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this one, of course, you could open up and kind of visually see particular. So it's like a medical specimen, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's like an authentic, human skull.
Do you mind if I rotate
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Please. Yeah, pick it up. Feel free.
Oh, yeah, dude.
If you ever wanted to hold one, I don't know if you've ever.
I'm going to get my Shakespeare on.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now repeat what you just said. You said it's a medical skull. You said.
Yeah. So like a study.
Okay.
So in whatever medical field students would. But I'll open it up in a sec for you. And you get background of it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. So you got all these little fun. This is like a puzzle I'll never want to break because I don't want to put it all together. But they got all the
it opens up?
Yeah.
Wow.
So where the brain would obviously normally sit, you could see all the little fun things that they laid out.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure this goes without saying, anatomically correct, I imagine.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right. If you open it one more time.
Open it one more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just take a quick photo for the people.
You mind sending me a picture of those? Send me those. Sweet.
Yeah, and what's cool too, they get all the nerve endings and the teeth actually. That, which is really cool.
Dude, that is insane. Yeah. And how did you come across this?
This was at an antique shop out in Elgin during that Nightmare on Chicago Street.
That's right.
So
man, that is lit.
Yeah, I think this is like I said, I think we got 4 something like that, maybe. 4 demons. It's kind of fun. So
that is really cool.
Got it.
Yeah, so this just kind of sits around. It's kind of like awesome. what do you do with it? I look at it every now and then.
Obviously, this is a testament to what we said before. And just you're just yeah, sits around. And me and Billy are just like, oh my god, we're giddy about it, like we're little schoolboys. Show us more, Professor. Mr. Mario, what do you have next for show and tell? We're clearly so easily entertained, Billy and I.
Absolutely.
Doesn't take much to get us jazzed up.
Just a little common, cat. Skull.
A little cat head?
Yeah, this is the one. I mean, we got a lot of different skulls, but I thought the fun comparison to take a look, of course, you got your common, house domestic cat.
Yeah.
And
also, I apologize, listeners, also, because you're going to get really crappy pictures of the inside of our makeshift studio, which is my apartment, so don't judge.
Yeah, fun little cat skull.
Yeah, give me the hola gato.
Normally what you'd pet at
come to daddy.
It's just the same, right? So, you would think
wow. And these are replicas or real?
No, those are real.
Dude, this is a real cat skull? Holy shit.
Wow.
Well, if that's amazing to you.
Any of this stuff is.
Here's an actual lion skull.
Oh, what?
Holy shit.
This is an actual lion.
So that was fun. That was a fun pickup. One of the jobs my wife had before.
Holy crap!
Is it heavy?
It got some weight.
It's got some heft to it.
Yeah.
It's got some girth,
Take a
if you
look
will.
at his teeth. Put it up to your head. I mean,
Oh yeah, hang on, hold that right there, dude. This is so freaking cool.
Yeah, these are really hard to come by because of like a lot of laws involving big cats. You know,
sure.
They can't cross state lines. So like, I was lucky enough to find one in Waukegan, which is clearly this one.
Yeah. Holy guacamole!
It's definitely got some weight.
Like I'm used to seeing this shit like behind glass at like museums and shit, but now I'm like holding it in my palms like it's nothing.
Yeah, so
especially that it's real and it's not like a replica or made like a 3D printer.
Yeah, get a picture with me with this, dude. That's insane, man.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun to show.
Yeah, it's got some heft to it. It definitely got some weight
between just a domestic and a bigger.
Guys, I
think the cat skull is the size of the tooth on the lion.
Probably, yeah.
Like the entire
the whole thing. Yeah. Literally, one tooth of this lion is your domestic cat skull. Holy Jesus, dude, the teeth. So like,
sorry, we're like geeking out. This is really cool.
Oh yeah.
This might be the best day of my life. Holy shit!
And to know that that's real, that's what blows my mind.
Yeah,
like I just imagine like just a little tiger just on my like, oh yes, Mr. Wiggles, yes, Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yeah, that thing's giant though. Yeah,
it is huge. That is insane.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Wow. Yeah, this was again like my wife had worked some job where she was getting out at like midnight or something or 1 a.m. So I'm sitting there waiting for her because like I picked up a second job just to, pass the time while she's working. And I'm like, I'll pick you up later. So I'm online just surfing, regular like a Craigslist or something. And they had posted this like 2 minutes ago, and I'm like, "Yo, what's
You're
up?"
like, jump on that.
Yeah, and he had posted it with 2 other skulls, but I already had like it was like a bear and like something else I forget. But
casual fucking bear, dude, lame.
And I was like, hey, I'm like, I know you're asking for like the bundle, but what do you got on just this guy? And he's like, oh, I got it for this much. I'm like, all right, like sold. I'm like, but can I meet you after work? Cause like, I got to work. I was in Winnetka at the time and he was in like Waukegan. So a little bit away.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a job in Winnetka. He's like, why don't I just meet you? So I'm working the counter at a coffee shop, and this guy pulls up with this thing, and everyone just stops talking for a second.
Everyone has to stop and stay.
Cool. Like, you're dope.
Like an archaeologist, like, yes, this is how much it weighs. You're holding it in your hands, like, yes, about approximately.
If you don't mind me asking, if it's too personal, feel free to answer. How much did you pay for that?
This guy here, I actually got a steal at $400.
Only $400.
Yeah.
Yo, I won't lie. That's kind of crazy. I was expecting, I was expecting kind of in the thousand, or at least 1,000, maybe something like that.
Probably, it's fun stock. That's the way I like to look at it. Where I'm like, hey, if I ever really needed to kind of go ahead and sell something, I could.
Dude, that is nuts.
Go ahead and do that. But yeah, I thought that was a fun little.
Wow. I mean, that goes without saying. That is
difference, right?
Very fucking cool.
There are a couple in between we have, of course. I got like a snow leopard actually, which is pretty cool. They could stack one on top of the other.
Yeah, little Russian nesting doll vibes of just like stacking skulls up.
Way cool, right?
Oh, that's so neat.
Yeah. Other fun things. I mean, like, it also leads into like other cultures, of course. Which is, like it's just interesting to see what things other people might have. So
yeah.
We found
dude, I forgot. I'll be honest, so blown away by the skulls, I forgot there was more.
This is Vietnamese snake wine.
Dude, snake wine.
Yeah, so that's like cobra in there.
Wait, an actual snake?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And that's meant for drinking, like consuming, actually.
Holy.
That's just fun one, online I found.
Yo, this is some cool ass shit, to be honest with you, Mario. I'm being honest.
Hey, it's cool. Yeah,
we're not just fluffing your shit up, Mario. This is cool as shit. I won't lie. Holding this in my hand gives me the willies more than the skulls do. Something about it just like it's making my hand kind of twitch. I'm like,
it might be the entire specimen, you know what I mean? And that's a fun story.
I kind of want it to jump out at me. Like,
there's a story actually, like of a lady in Vietnam who had her own brewing. Like a home remedy. She had the cobra in there. Was brewing, rice wine in there. And after like, I think 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, she went to go refill it. The thing was still alive somehow. Dude. It came out in bitter, dude. She had to go to the hospital. It was crazy.
Yo, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
and like, now is that like meant to be like, you can drink that now technically?
Check out the label. Go ahead and read the label.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
Read it out loud.
It has remedies. Real specialty of Vietnamese snake wine, 1 unit, usage, and a bunch of big words. Sweat of limbs, dosage, twice a day, each a small cup before meal.
Does it like help with digestion? Is it like, what the fuck? Yo, that's crazy.
According to this, it cures, rheumatism, lumbago, and sweat of limbs. Whatever.
I guess if you're just a fucking sweater, you could just like drink some snake wine.
That, yeah, I guess you won't be sweating.
Now, is there any world or context where you open that bad boy?
No, probably not. There's one Han actor that his bragging point is like, I'll drink anything you serve me. I almost want to bring this to him, but I'm so feared that
he might actually do it.
Let's crack it open, because I know, like 100% in my mind, he would open that bottle.
Yo, Billy, how much money for you to drink this bitch, bro? How much?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be scared to even open it because of the snake.
I don't know why, but I get what you mean.
But like, I don't even know what it's, because for me, it needs to pass the smell test. If it can't pass the smell test, it won't pass the taste test.
That's
for
fair.
sure. That's fair.
Most of these you find are like kind of more shot glass size with little baby.
And that's what we're like. Yeah, I'll be honest. To get me to drink a shot glass size of some snake wine.
Well, like, I need to know like what else is in. I know the snake, of course.
You don't want to know what else is in there, brother. You want to keep that shit ambiguous.
Okay, Mario, how much did you pay for that?
Not much. I think like maybe $80.
Hey, that's what we call
it. Sometimes you like
it's a doorbuster in my world, baby. Let's go.
Like you just sort of find things, and people are selling things or trading stuff.
The question I want to ask is, you kind of mentioned it. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's dead in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, it wasn't, I guess, for a hot minute.
At the time, yeah, but.
Yeah, it's crazy though.
Yeah,
I think now too. Like, there might have been. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder what.
It's kind of fucked, but I think I'd probably drink a shot glass worth of that for probably like $50,000. $50,000, I'd probably drink some of that.
But I mean, think about the fact that
people recreationally
they're doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of amazing.
No, that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. If holding it was giving, like, I felt like a tinge in my hand holding it, like it was going to jump out at me. Guys, the cobra in there is like saying "What up?" Like is like looking at you about a wink. Dude, this blows my fucking mind. Before you leave, we have to get a picture of all of it together before you leave.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But
again,
holy
these are
crap,
just like little.
is,
I mean, there's so much more.
Of course,
but just things I kind of grabbed. But,
man,
yeah, that's fun too. Yeah, I'd mentioned before, like the Conan O'Brien podcast and stuff. So he had mentioned about a gelatinous creature, and the whole thing is that there's actually a method of study, like scientifically, called diaphanization, if you're not familiar with it.
No.
Simply like clearance staining is another term for it. And basically what happens is like they take specimens, like actual bodies of something, remove the organs, if you will, and it goes through 2 chemical baths. And you have one that essentially will clear all the skin and cartilage, right? And then the other one basically it clears all the skin, and the other one stains all the cartilage and the skeleton. So what you're looking at essentially looks like a 3D X-ray, so to speak.
Okay.
I brought one of them that's just a cool example.
Yes.
Yes, please.
It's a cat, which is pretty cool.
Like a regular house cat, or like okay.
He brought in another big cat for us.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
What?
You get all the details of all the actual bones and stuff.
This might be better than fucking Christmas for me right now.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
Holy shit!
Actually, this was a Christmas gift for my wife.
Dude, Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and we got a buddy that he's my go-to guy for
in those horror films when inevitably someone finds themselves in a basement of creepy shit just on shelves. Like this is the kind of shit you see.
Yeah, this is in my kitchen.
I'm just holding it
in my kitchen,
and it's just in Mario's kitchen. Like no big deal. Dude, that is...
Yeah, I mean, check out the tail. Like, I love that. All the little bones, You just see everything going on.
Yeah, hang on.
It's great.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's one of, like, maybe, like, 5 or so. Maybe 10 we have.
Dude, those bones get so small by the tail. That's so insane.
I got it at my parents' house, but we got a stingray, so you can imagine how that looks.
Oh,
way cool.
Yo, this is like science class, but like
exactly.
cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the little paws too, all the intricate bones, the little paws.
Exactly. It's great, right?
It's morbid as shit, but like I'm bought in. I'm sold. Holy shit, that is awesome.
Let me see Mario.
Sorry.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Yeah. So if you, again, like, same way you sort of have like, haunted houses with their own particular, but, you have like artists, like oddity artists.
Yeah.
And, Grizzly Macabre is our guy that pretty much, I'll go to him for our diabs.
Dude, our boy Grizzly, dude.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That's Grizzly as shit.
Yeah.
What is it? I'm trying to see what the eye, I know the eyes are there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're like pulled, of course. So it's just the sockets.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Because for a second, it looked like the eyes are still kind of in there.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But that's all just bone, cartilage, and skin. So.
Dude, that's so wild.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool because, like scientifically, though, like, for example, like there's a really good YouTube video of the Science or Field Museum, I think it is.
Yeah.
And, they talk about this process and stuff, and they show you, like, how they're able to study, like, fish in particular that move a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's like an x-ray, so you get to see.
And I guess that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's you can really get a clear idea of how they move based off of this because you could see the bones in the formation of how they are actually versus needing to put them together. Holy shit, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah, fun.
What else you got, Mario? I'm
keep throwing it out.
Fuck the rest of this episode. Yeah. I'm just in this. Like, Jesus.
I think it was not this past birthday, but the last birthday I found this and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get me something fun, It's a pig, just a
fetal pig or like an egg?
Yeah, well, I think it was alive for maybe a few minutes, but there's no way it survived because I obviously have it now. But,
didn't live to see the next day.
Let's see. This is a good one. I like this one a lot. It's one of two.
Cool. I am having a fucking blast.
It's one of two I have. I didn't bring the other one, but this guy's pretty impressive. Two in this particular state, but so it's a whole pig.
That's like a skinless cat.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. Check this out, though. And this, again, is real.
It's just hanging in a mason jar.
It's got two faces.
Oh. Yo, it's a double-faced pig?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait for you to see these photos, listeners. I cannot. It's got legitimately two faces. Holy shit. I thought this was like only shit you like saw on TV with like prosthetics and fake shit.
Yeah, that's a real like farm animal.
What? Mm-hmm. Anybody hungry for some bacon?
And where'd you get this one from again?
Internet.
Okay.
Just people you find. People.
How much? If you don't mind me asking.
I forgot even. I think maybe like 800.
Okay.
Damn. Something like that. I don't even remember.
Some Siamese twin pigs. Wow. Dude, fucking wild.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That right here for now. Me and Piglet will just hang out for a little smidgen.
Dude, if you had a name, it'd be like carnitas y chorizo.
Ooh, carnitas y chorizo. Un poquito. Hola, Jue.
Babe the pig.
Yo, I like that. I like that, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, so again, taxidermy stuff I didn't bring, of course.
Yeah.
Raining and stuff.
Oh, sure. I mean, this is way cool enough, brother. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Man.
Yeah, I don't know. It all
Caitlin's not going to want to post on social media any of this because she's going to get so freaked out looking at it. It's so cool, though. Like, it's dope. It's so cool. All right.
Yeah, fun. And then sort of within the same realm of, all the oddity stuff. Like we mentioned 2020, and I'm like, we're sitting at home, and I'm like, what are you going to do? So started like studying a little bit, just like the history of like spiritualism and stuff. And then, that leads to, of course, the existence of like Ouija boards and things such as.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I brought a couple of examples. I think we got like maybe like 50 or 60 different boards.
Nice.
Probably.
Are there like different types of Ouija boards?
Absolutely. So that's what's fun about it. And that's what, you think you'd see that one design, but.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ouija board, I think of like the classic Ouija board design you've seen in all the movies.
So even with that, like, this year started it all though. This is a original Kennard board. So this is, if you look at the date, of course, patent pending.
Yeah. Say that date up there.
February 14th. 1891.
Yeah.
So, it's like 135. This is like the first.
That is like the Ouija board.
The first produced board.
Like, if there's any fucking spirits for real, they're attached to this board.
Yeah,
they're attached to this board.
I think it says February 10th.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
10th, 18. Was it?
1891.
91. Oh, my God.
So the fun thing
So
too,
this is a bona fide antique.
Yeah, this is like legitimately like the first produced board.
I have to ask you: have you ever played with any of these?
I have not.
Would you ever?
I don't know if I'm sort of like a skeptic, but I would like to believe. I don't like if hauntings were a thing. My house would probably be haunted.
Yeah, you'd have one of those. Dude, that's so cool.
Now, with having the boards,
Sure.
Have you ever experienced anything, whether it's as simple as just like a light flicker or something falling off the counter or more, of course?
Yeah, not with boards, unfortunately. As much as I'd like to, I think. But but that's the one that started it all. Pretty cool.
Man,
I'm really fortunate to have this.
OG.
The double slats, on the back, because what's fun about it, like historically, was actually sort of the origin of like Tinder, if you will, in a way. It's supposed to be a dating game, so the design is you're supposed to put your knees on one side and have the female put hers on the other, so you're pretty close together, and
Oh yeah.
Kind of interesting, I thought.
That is very.
So that's one of the fun ones. Once that was produced, though, like eventually it moved from Kenner to Fold, if I remember correctly, of course, which is more or less what you see nowadays. But eventually, it's a lot of copyright stuff, and
Sure.
like all that ended up happening. So he made a whole other one called the Mystifying Oracle Board. The same thing. It's a Ouija board that ends up now they're pretty much both combined. You'll see like Mystifying Oracle and Ouija like on the Hasbro boards that you see now. It's very fun, right?
And what did you pay for these?
These all vary. These are like you gotta really bring your wallet to.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, like
people's Ouija game they take pretty seriously.
Ouija game on top.
Yeah, and be like, yo,
but this here,
no junk change for them Ouijas, bruh. You could maybe spend $400 on a cat head, but a Ouija board, bro, you must be ready to drop some dough.
This is the first Oracle board, actually, which is really cool, from 1915.
Oh, wow. Dang. So
cool
all
design,
of these are
dude.
fairly antique. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think just about the earliest or youngest one I think that I have in here is probably from like 60-something. But even better than this, which is cool. Here. Oh.
Even better? It gets better?
Now you said this one folds, is that right?
That is a William Fold board.
Okay.
But it's Mystifying Oracle.
I don't want anything bad to happen, so I'm just going to hold to
Yeah,
it.
you would curse this podcast by doing something Billy you would avoid. Abort mission.
It's like an anomaly in the community, but there are not many of these.
All right, we have a little black case.
But it's the plaquette that goes. Yeah. So this is a black diamond plaquette.
A black diamond?
Yeah, these do not come
I'm
up very
freaking
often.
out right
I think
now.
they're about. I think last about like maybe a dozen of these that are known to exist, something like that. But they're not really that.
Oh my god, it's on the board. What do I do? Oh my god.
It'll be okay. Yeah, but way cool though. Like, I think there are very few examples of this particular thing on display. Like, publicly. They're very highly sought after, actually, which is pretty cool.
Cool is an understatement. Holy crap.
Like glass eye, of course.
That's what. Yeah, dude.
So.
Oh, mind if I hold on to the?
Absolutely.
The
Yeah, please.
All right.
But yeah, I always love the design of this one because it's not that typical, layout like you've seen on the first one.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, and of course you got the patent date here too, which is January 19th, 1915. So
damn.
And this is January 19, 1950. Yeah, 1950. Oh my goodness.
So it's like 110 years old?
Yeah, dude. The stories that these boards could tell.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty fun though. Like, it's just I don't know. It's pretty like it's another pretty cool community. A lot of different like Facebook groups you could find.
Oh yeah.
This guy Paul Smash, I think is his name. He runs the Ouija room. It's just a fun community of people just sharing what they find and stuff.
Yeah.
And then someone brings something random and then everyone's like, "Oh, is that for sale?" And of course everyone wants everything.
Of course.
Everybody wants all that cool shit, yo.
Yeah.
Now with the planchette, did you buy that individually or did you buy it with one of the boards?
I found this as a set. So
You
these
found
two
them.
go together.
Okay, good.
Cool.
These two
Yeah,
go
yeah.
together. And
They're a package deal.
I don't know how I came up with that.
Yeah.
You're looking at a rare moment. Rare moment there. Holy crap.
Yeah, people must have been asleep for that. because that does.
I wonder, like,
I think I've only seen one other example as a whole for sale in my like 5 years of collecting.
Damn.
No, I wonder if it's like any bad voodoo if you did like a different planchette with a different board.
I don't know. I don't necessarily like. There are a lot more boards than you'd find planchettes for somebody. Like that first one, that original Kenner. Like finding the paddle for that.
You're looking
like a
at
ping pong paddle.
You're looking at needle in a haystack.
They don't come out. Yeah, they just don't come out.
It's probably in some dude's basement or attic.
You never know. That's
back.
Usually the way it is.
Yeah, you'll see it on an episode of Storage Wars or some shit.
Yeah,
I thought she was even still on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was probably just finding some guy's storage unit.
It's a kind of a different one where this guy has his people and they drive out to like certain places, and it'd be like my dad watches these shows and he showed me this one where this guy drove out to this guy's place and it nothing about sports memorabilia. It's
sure.
Basically, think of every baseball card from like the 1970s to like the early 2000s. He had them in the boxes.
Oh shit!
Every single one.
Billy's a huge sports guy.
I love baseball. So when he showed me, like, hey, come watch this, and I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, like this is some insane shit.
Yeah, and people just sleep on this shit.
Yeah, for sure. This is a fun example. I mean, this is an older one too. See, 65 is a year, but it just happened to be in the bag, so I was like, whatever.
You might as well bring it along.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a clean example, which is really good. The Zolar's Gemini board.
Oh my god,
nice!
It's just cool. Like they all have different designs, mostly.
Yeah, very unique. Company. Very unique.
Somewhere in this box is, of course, the Mansion Planchette.
Oh, nice. That one has a very little decorative.
Yeah, for sure. What I like about this set, though, which was just sort of a bonus find, the little, instructions plan.
Yeah, how to summon spirits.
But it actually has a message from the aunt that was giving it to their niece. Written on that, which is way cool. There's collectors look for things like that. So.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna get Da Vinci Code all over this shit. I am gonna find out what this says.
If I remember correctly, it says, "Hi Jane, I'm sending you my board as it works for me. We'll send for another for me later, as it takes a good month or so to get it. Good luck, Als. Love, Mary."
Dude, do we think Mary's still alive?
I don't know. It's kind of interesting though.
Hey, her spirit is probably attached to that board. Oh yeah, her spirit is baked into this board, bruh.
Yeah, but apparently she gave it to her niece or something. So,
dude, that is so fun.
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. That like instruction booklet to have like a message.
Yeah, it almost adds like a layer of crypticness to it.
Someone had one, and it was just like a pretty simple, like just regular blue ghost. They're called. The case for it's actually this guy here, which is pretty fun. I don't know
sick tattoos.
But it's it's the blue ghost from the Ouija. I can't think all the way up. But they had actually messaged William Fuld, who is like, the creator of all this stuff, and he had responded. So they had a typed written letter and like his signature on it. And that thing went for like some pretty good money because, it's such a cool thing to have. It's
one of a kind, really.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
This is fun too. I picked this guy up. It's the Mystic Table of Pythagoras. It's the only example I could find of this, and I've actually had a couple of different museums reach out and we're like, "Yo, let's
hey,
get this off you," and I'm like, "No, that's okay."
You're like, "It'll stay with me for now."
But it just reminds me of like Sesame Street, Like I feel like
it does. It has like that whimsical color scheme.
Yeah, the case I got it somewhere else, but it has like the lady's address, which I think was like in Evanston or something, and so like someone got this delivered to their home. And what's cool about this too is another guy, Brandon Hodge, reached out, and he's creating like a coffee table, like full.
Yeah.
Ouija. So he's like, "Yo, take some pictures of this because I don't have this like as an example." So
have like cool. Kind of a design to be able to use.
I'll give you some credit, credit in the book. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, whatever."
You're like, "Dope, cool. Didn't need it, but fuck it, let's go."
Pretty cool. So
yeah, I mean, like, so you've already kind of expressed that people have reached out to you about various pieces of your collection, certain things.
For sure.
Like, when that time comes, is that something like with this stuff you're looking to get down the road of like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm to the point where I don't need this stuff anymore or whatever.
Maybe someone else's time to enjoy it. But,
sure. But for now, it's staying with you.
Yeah. So it's fun stuff. You find some pretty cool things.
Clearly.
This one's pretty cool too, just in the sense that I think this is from the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. The Olympia ESP board.
Nice.
A really fun design.
Ooh, a little bit of an astrology vibe on the outside of it.
What's cool about this one, of course, having the box to match, but if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the planchette for that. But what's fun about this one too is it came with a record that you're supposed to play to give the ambience of it. This is kind of hard to find, actually.
Have you ever listened to it?
I have not. I want to record it, and maybe put it up on YouTube for other people to enjoy who don't have it,
Yeah.
Kind of cool. Music to play, ESP by. So
that is really
just an ambiance. So it's kind of cool to have the whole.
I have a record player. I could have brought it with us.
I mean, I have one just outside the room.
Hey, I mean, it's up to you.
I was about to say, what we should do, and this will be a plant for later on. What we should do is get you on for another episode where we just play around with this stuff.
Sure, it's fun stuff.
Do it just a whole episode.
Like I said, there's a lot more, obviously,
of course, yeah.
That just sort of, they're I think I got the largest board that's been produced. It's funny because it was sold on a cruise ship. Yeah, They
did those auctions off cruise ships. I'm familiar.
It was on a cruise ship that they would just sell this particular board on. I think it's called the Mystic Messenger or something like that. This thing has anything you could think of, just this giant circle, bigger than this table. I think.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, some of these things, but it's kind of fun,
Dude, what a fucking wild collection,
stuff.
Dude.
Thanks. Yeah. Again, it's probably just a small portion, to be honest.
Oh, but still, just giving us an insight on kind of what you got. We can only imagine. My brain is just
Well, next time we bring you on to do this, we'll just set up shop at your place and we'll just we'll just record an episode in your world,
man. Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought people would find this interesting, but sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude,
whatever you need.
Dude, anything else to show us?
I think that's all I brought.
Dude,
actually.
fucking cool. No, more than enough.
Yeah.
Way fucking cool. Last thing I always like to end this podcast with before we get a picture with all of this stuff for the socials. Self-promotion, man. How people had questions for you about what you do, or if they wanted to check out one of your reviews, the website and stuff, all the shameless plugs, the YouTube channel, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, we work for the scarefactor.com. Our team name is Team White City Devils. You can find anything on the Scare Factor YouTube channel. The website, of course, is where all the reviews would be, as well as we're pretty active on Facebook mostly than anything else. But it's pretty much with that. Other fun stuff, like I said, Hunters Against Hate's really cool organization, just to mention again. If we're looking at any of this oddity stuff, there's things, like Oddity Curiosity Expo. If this is something you want to see, they have just hundreds of vendors coming to one spot, and they tour towns and stuff, which is way cool. So it's gotten a little more on the artsy side, but you'll still find, trinkets of this involved. My guy, like I said, Grizzly Macabre will generally have things like this for display, which is fun.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, good time, man. Yeah. And again, too, I guess in the area, like I said, 30th anniversary, at the video strip is way cool. So, physical media, there we go, man. That's the way to go.
Hell yeah. So many cool shout outs. Fucking many cool stories. Mario, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, man.
Seriously.
As always, listeners, please, if you're listening, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, anything to help the algorithm out. Leave us a review, all that good stuff. But, follow us on Instagram if you ever want to message us, outoftherut@yahoo.com. We also have our subreddit now. So if you ever want to submit anonymous stories of yourselves in ruts and we can talk about them, that is Out of the Rut Podcast is the subreddit on Reddit. So please hit those up as you want. But guys, as always, this was X.
This is Billy.
And this was our boy Mario.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Y'all stay lit, never quit. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. And have a fantastic and safe Halloween, y'all.